Discovery.
Hello and welcome to Cutting Through the Board in the post-truth apocalypse. I'm gonna for a while now.
Take two.
Yeah. Hello and welcome to the
Take three.
Hello and welcome to Cutting Through the Bull in the post-truth apocalypse.
Yes!
Nailed it.
Hey.
First time.
This is like episode 25 or something like that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You gonna introduce yourself, Mr. Host?
I'm Ben. As always, I'm joined by Gaz
Hey!
and Mike.
Oh.
And today we're talking about Solar Warden, Gary McKinnon, and the Captain America in space himself, Randy Kramer.
Fucking mad. This is a good one, dear listener, this week. This is a meaty one, I think. And one that I didn't know much about, which is why I fell down the rabbit hole on this one a little bit. With
Surprisingly.
YouTube and, yeah. So yeah, should we, as usual, should we go through some weird news from around the world?
See what we've trawled this week. Actually, let's give a shout out at the start of the show to our listeners in San Francisco. There's more people listening to this in San Francisco than there is in our own town.
Which might, to you listening, think, well, why is that? But for us, that's kind of a weird thing. More people in San Francisco, so we either have a couple of Uber fans who are spreading the word for us in San Francisco, or, like I said earlier, we're very popular with homosexuals and hippies.
Yeah, which I don't have an issue with. That's
Neither
good.
me. I know I'm massively, I can't speak, which is not good for a podcast, stereotyping the people of San Francisco, but...
Hey man, if I wanted to be anywhere in history,
Yeah.
it would be in San Francisco in the 60s.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I had any hair, I'd put a flower in it and visit you.
Which I think the movie Dirty Harry makes it all the better that it's set in San Francisco.
Yeah,
you know.
It is, because you think, you wouldn't associate that going on in San Francisco.
Yeah, you know, he's
Bullets
walking
as
around
well.
with...
Bullets, have you seen that?
I have, yes.
Where's the Rock?
The Rock. Oh, yeah, that's San
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
so. Not the man, the island.
Yeah, the island. The
Alcatraz.
film. The film, yeah.
Alcatraz,
Ah.
that's the real name. Well done,
Yeah.
Mike.
Good film.
That's a good Clint Eastwood movie. Anyway, tangent in the first 10 seconds. So, give us some news, Mike.
Right, first one. I found this. Amy Winehouse's ghost visits her family, says her father. Exploiting her in death
I
as he
was gonna
exploited her in life.
I was literally about to say, will that fucker not just leave her alone? Drive your taxi, you lazy bastard. Stop trying to make money off her memory. Sorry, read me the story.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
Over 6 years after the death of British singer Amy Winehouse, her father claims that the artist's ghost often returns in the form of a ghost.
That was so well written.
Yeah, or as a bird, like the one that Winehouse had tattooed on her arm. Mitch Winehouse said in an interview with The Sun that his daughter's spirit visits her family's home in Kent. Well, bless.
I call bullshit.
I would, knowing his track record and trying to cash in on his daughter's fame, I would argue that...
Has he got any evidence, any pictures or film?
No, her spirit comes and sits on the end of my bed, he says. She just sits there and it looks like her with a beautiful face, and she looks at me and I say, "Are you alright?" Because I get nervous with her being there. Well, I'd be fucking nervous if the ghost of my daughter was sat on my bed as well.
Yeah. I think, Mitch, so the bird, because she had the bird tattooed, I have the Ultimate Warrior's face paint logo tattooed on me. If I die soon, tragically, I know you'll be sad, guys, but...
Well, we'll have
does
to
that
get a
mean
new host.
Every time you'll have to get a new drug-addled lunatic. Every time you go into a toy shop and see an Ultimate Warrior action figure, could you not then say, "Oh, it's the ghost of Gaz"? Because he had a tattoo of it. Because fuck if she had a tattoo of that bird, it doesn't mean she has been reincarnated into that bird. Is that how reincarnation works? Because if it is, hey, actually, it's going to be great. All my tattoos are basically wrestler related. I'm going to come back as a very muscular man with even worse drug problems. But
Okay, this is the bit about the bird. This week after she died, I was at my sister's house and we heard this thud and a blackbird that looked identical to Amy's tattoo flew into the glass. We went and picked it up.
And it died just like Amy!
Oh, I shouldn't laugh at that.
That's harsh.
What a lovely story though. Oh, we heard the thud as the bird flew into the glass and its dead carcass slid down. Oh, it reminds me of Amy. Sorry, Mike.
We went and picked it up and put it on a perch. It happened at night when birds don't fly. But it came back and sat on my foot, her father said during the interview, adding that he was sure that the bird was indeed Amy Winehouse.
Well, yeah, so where are we going to stand on that one, boys? Bollocks?
Bollocks. I mean, I'm prepared, you know, interdimensional space forces. Yeah. Oh, that's me making the... I heard it then. It is us putting drinks down. Sorry, listeners, we're not professionals and we're still learning. This, Ben, you hit nail on the head as soon as you read the headline. Just stop cashing in. I don't know how interviews work, but are you paid for this kind of thing?
Probably, yeah.
Just let it go, man. I get that. I'm not saying let it go, your daughter died. Jesus, I'm not saying that. Christ, no. But I am saying just go and live a normal life, mate.
Yeah, you've got the money.
Yeah, you weren't the star. You didn't do any singing. And do you know what? I'm going to say something controversial, Mitch. If you were a bit more... No, I shouldn't say this. I was going to say, like, if Amy had better people around her and was handled better, perhaps she wouldn't...
Be dead.
Be dead, yes. I don't know if that's anything to do with him, but he was a manager, wasn't he?
He was, yeah. Manager or agent. Either way, you never sent her to rehab when she should have clearly gone.
And after her death, it says sales of the singer's music surged.
Oh, of course it did. It's a well-known phenomenon. As soon any artist dies and they become bestsellers.
They do. Yeah. Look at Elvis.
Especially dying, I think, at the height of your fame. Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
Tupac.
Well, it also means like with people like Cobain, it's like he wasn't around long enough to start making really shit albums and becoming a parody of himself, if you know what I mean. They only, strike while the iron's hot sort of thing.
I mean, imagine if he was still alive today, what would he be kicking out?
I wouldn't be listening. Well, I don't know, maybe
I don't know.
Maybe it'd be a really stripped down acoustic.
I heard he was going to go solo.
Yeah. He was, yeah, literally he was, yeah. That's true.
Well, look, the one good thing about him dying is that he died, because I really didn't give a shit about Nirvana. And hey, we've got Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, but I like Nirvana, so it kind
I
of
like Nirvana.
For me.
I stand by the line in we talked about this today, but you didn't watch the movie The Wrestler, starring Mickey Rourke. Obviously, he's an 80s throwback in that film, and there's a fucking ace scene. He's in a bar chatting to a woman, same age as him. And they're talking about how good the 80s were. There's some 80s cock rock on the radio, and he's like, man, the 80s were amazing. And then that pussy Cobain came along and fucking ruined it all. Which is kind of true, because before grunge, it was all, yeah, my cock is so huge and life is so great and it's aspirational.
Wasn't that a bit cheesy in itself?
I'd rather that than fucking rape me. Oh,
no,
God, you're raping me.
Teenage angst.
No, for me, it changed the music for the better. For me,
it's very subjective, of course.
Of course, yeah.
I appreciate that to be fair, I just like saying that and sticking to that point to wind people up, because it's one of those bands people adore. I do like some Nirvana, and I appreciate he had a great voice, but it's just I don't know, I don't like rock stars who shoot themselves in the head, really. It's like, I know he might not have.
Yeah, but rock stars are like the family dog. You enjoy the time with them, and one day you know they're going to let you down and die.
But, yeah, I don't know. I like the Foo Fighters, though.
Yeah, but you'd have had the Foo Fighters anyway, because Cobain was going to go solo, so the band would have split up anyway. So you'd have had the Foo Fighters. Whether they'd have been as big if Cobain's career had took off, if he'd have kind of been still in the shadow a little bit, who knows?
Well, we'll never know.
No, we won't.
Because he was a pussy.
Next one.
Unless he was murdered.
Well,
there's an episode in itself.
We've touched on it in a few other episodes. I think there's something fishy about his death. I'm 100% convinced there was something fishy. But that's another subject for another time.
Yeah.
Let's hit us with the next one, Mike.
I'm just going to give a quick shout out to El Duce.
Was it Donkey?
That's it, yeah. This is something.
Google it, lads.
This is something I found the other night, and then I found out today that it's fake news. But because it's about Trump, and Trump likes fake news, I thought I would read it anyway. And it was supposedly an excerpt from the book Fire and Fury about Trump's first time in office, first year or so in office.
Yeah, it's just been released this week of
Yeah.
recording, and it's pretty much all over the news, isn't it? It's top story.
Yeah, kind of basically just saying
Criticises
that
Trump.
he's a bit of a man-child, which we all know, in all fairness.
Who? Trump?
Yeah.
Never.
Well,
He's got his name on buildings.
so's Tony Stark, but he's not that much of a dick.
He's quite childlike though, as well. I suppose.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's got the brains to back it up.
Yeah.
Alright, I'll read the thing and I'll just read it all the way through, and because you can kind of imagine this happening. On his first night in the White House, President Trump complained that the TV in his bedroom was broken because it didn't have the Gorilla channel. Trump seemed to be under the impression that a TV channel existed that screened nothing but gorilla-based content 24 hours a day. To appease Trump, White House staff compiled a number of gorilla documentaries into a makeshift gorilla channel, broadcast into Trump's bedroom from a hastily constructed transmission tower on the South Lawn. However, Trump was unhappy with the channel they had created, moaning that it was boring because the gorillas aren't fighting. Staff edited out all the parts of the documentaries where gorillas weren't hitting each other, and at last the president was satisfied. On some days, he'll watch the gorilla channel for 17 hours straight, an insider told me. He kneels in front of the TV with his face about 4 inches from the screen and says encouraging things to the gorillas like, "The way you hit that other gorilla was good." I think he thinks the other gorillas can hear him.
That is brilliant.
That's just...
that is fantastic.
I can just picture him.
Yeah, you can, can't you?
In his pajamas, in his hands, his chin
Kicking
resting
his
on his
feet.
hands. Yeah.
Lay on his foot, kicking his feet up.
Like you used to watch telly as a child.
Yeah.
Well, look, why don't they just get him into WWE? He knows what it is. He's been in it.
He has, he had his... You know, he should have had his head shaved.
Yeah, I so didn't want Vince to lose that one.
No,
But,
no, neither did I.
And he's also been Stone Cold Stunned. That's fantastic.
It is, actually. I could watch that again and again, you know.
Yeah, oh yeah. That was fake news. But
Fake news.
The reason it's so believable is because we don't need anyone to do this sort of thing, really, an expose, because we're seeing it all happen in real time, for reals. He's doing it himself with his Twitter feed. We don't really need these kinds of... I mean, what was the... I'm going to be paraphrasing it massively, but Mark Hamill, Lord Skywalker, his
Lord Skywalker?
No, he's a Master Skywalker, sorry. No, he's a Jedi Master?
Yeah, 3 weeks of training.
Wow. He's a Mary Sue then, isn't he?
He is a bit, yeah.
Well, so why is that okay for the original Star Wars but not okay for the new Star Wars?
I don't
because she's a woman!
No.
And you're a sexist patriarch pig!
Actually, I said Ray was a Mary Sue last week to you.
Yeah, but this...
My point was that Master Skywalker's had 3 weeks of training, whereas like Obi-Wan had like 15 years.
But,
you know.
But the midichlorians are obviously very high in...
Oh, right, okay, well then, yeah, okay.
I don't know if they're
I
still
just come back
continuity.
with the Star Wars lore there.
Yeah, boy!
Those midichlorians that weren't canon until the prequels.
Yeah, I'm done with Star Wars, not because of the film, because of... the way people speak about that film online. I love The Last Jedi, for the record, but people are acting so butthurt. I'm losing the will to live over the way people talk about pop culture in these terms of like, people need... These sort of...
Geeks have become political.
Yeah, stop politicising my... Didn't we have this discussion?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
In text, like, stop politicising my pop culture, you fucks. You know, stop... People are trying to make it like politics, fandom. You either love it or you hate it. And we're
the empire
fucking fight it out.
The empire of the alt-right and the rebels of the left and...
Have you ever convinced someone that they love something, you think it's shit? Have you ever convinced them that it's shit or vice versa? No, it doesn't. So yeah, and you might call... I don't know if it's me being a pussy, but I don't want to argue and discuss pop culture. I want to... If we both like the same thing, let's talk about why we like it.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah. Don't try and convert someone else.
Yeah.
I mean, I never thought...
Not religion.
Star Wars, for fuck's
Well,
sake.
actually, it is a religion. Something.
Yeah, something it is, yeah.
I say sitting here in my Star Wars, I mean, like an uber geek. I've probably got Star Wars.
The thing is, you'll never please everyone with films that are made literally a generation apart. I mean, you know, the prequels, when did they finish? 83? No, it's later than that, wasn't it? 86, something like that.
The last one
was
must have
Return
been
of the Jedi.
Yeah, because the first,
84.
the original is...
84.
There you go.
Alright, so something like it's
83, 84.
Yeah.
Is there about 2 years between films?
3
or
years.
yeah, 77 the first. That means
Yeah.
that Empire Strikes Back was 80.
Yeah.
Alright, yeah. So let's say 83, 84. Right, so then you've got an entire generation of people who grew up with that, and then you've got an entire generation who grew up with them prequels. Now the ones who, because we sat there and watched the originals, we had that magic. Then we watched the prequels, the magic wasn't quite there.
Yeah.
Especially with the first one. That's still a shit movie. Okay?
Yeah.
But
I didn't...
they're all decent.
I didn't
the
hate
second-
it like everyone else
I
hated it. I came
It's
out of there
just
thinking...
Jar Jar fucking
I know.
Binks. I can't see past it.
But I can't remember whether now I dislike Jar Jar because of what everyone else says, or I can't actually remember my initial... I do remember just thinking that film was bit boring, bit talky.
I
But then
quite
at
like
the
the
end-
politics of it all, I didn't it? And the way it worked behind the scenes.
See, a lot of people complained about that, but he had to set up... He was literally... So how did we get
It was
this
a false
empire?
flag.
Yeah, I
wasn't it?
know that. Yeah.
Palpatine had a false flag.
Yeah.
And he did the trade blockade and.
Yeah. But I mean, Darth Maul was a great
He
villain
was
who was
cool as
criminally
shit.
underused.
Yeah.
He was. I mean, he could have had him. He could have done 2 films. Why bring in Count Dooku?
If he'd
Why
decapitated
bring
Jar Jar Binks, it would have been a lot better.
Exactly.
Do you know, in continuity though, I've never watched it, but this is one of the reasons I'm tempted to, is the cartoon Rebels.
Yes.
Which is in
Yeah, I've
continuity.
heard about this. Yeah.
They've rebuilt. Darth Maul didn't die.
No, he didn't.
It's creepy as fuck. His bottom half is like spider legs.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah, like he's like walking around like a spider with Darth Maul's top half. Like,
That's weird.
yeah. But apparently that cartoon's amazing, and it's all
Right.
canon, and it's all in.
I
continuity.
tried watching
Clone Wars.
Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And it had that little girl that was, she was so annoying. She was like an
Ah.
alien Jedi girl.
Yeah, she's.
Fuck
what's her
me.
name?
I mean, it's obviously aimed at teenagers.
Yeah.
And that was a bit that was pissing me off. I sat through about half a dozen episodes and I just thought, I can't take it anymore.
No, I tried to watch. There's a new Transformers cartoon which is using all the the original G1 characters, and it looked fucking amazing. But same thing, Mike. I couldn't take the dialogue.
Yeah.
I'm like, this isn't aimed at me, unfortunately. I wish it was,
Yeah.
but it's not. This isn't written for me.
That's why I like Rogue One. It was.
Oh, I love that movie. Have you seen that yet?
No, I haven't seen it
I
yet.
do think you'd like that one.
Well, I rewatch The Force Awakens and
Yeah.
didn't hate it as much as I did the first time.
Ah, good stuff.
So, I did skip a bit of a chunk of it because it was a bit, mainly that bit where Han and Chewie are fighting space octopuses on that ship. Because that's just a bit dumb and it derails the movie, and it derailed the movie from the first time.
Yeah.
Still, just some major flaws with it.
I mean, the whole point of him was being a smuggler to get the money, Gaz, wasn't it?
Yeah.
That was his whole driving force.
Yeah.
And as soon as he gets the money, he goes off looking for space octopuses. Oh, it doesn't make any sense.
No, it's like you're married to Princess Leia.
Unless it was
Right.
the thrill that he was after.
Yeah, he's Han Solo.
Yeah, but you get the feeling he was a bit senile, and
But
Chewie was like his carer.
That wasn't his motivation. It was always the money, wasn't it?
Yeah, and to get the girl.
And to get the girl.
But he's got the girl.
He's got the girl. He's got the money. So what is he doing?
But
Flying
then-
around space,
Well, no, all right then.
risking his own life.
Well, maybe it's because his son turned evil and started fucking mass murdering people. Maybe that's his way of
Well,
coping
maybe if he
with
was a
it.
better father, it wouldn't have happened.
Well, maybe if Luke was... you haven't seen it yet.
Most people.
I know
take-
that Luke's was
if
trained. He wasn't obviously a very good teacher,
If
was
Luke
he?
was a
Well,
better
most
uncle...
people, most people take up gardening or carpentry. Or something.
No, well, most blokes will go down the pub. What does Han Solo do? He gets his mate Chewie and they jump in the Falcon and say, come on, we're going to go out and we're going to fucking get into
Yeah.
some space fights.
And
We're
then
gonna
they
steal
lose-
some shit.
Yeah, but they lose the Falcon. I mean, and the best of it is it's been sat there.
Yeah, but
they
he won
say
the
like,
Falcon in
yeah,
the first
Yeah, but they
place.
say that it's just, oh, what's that? Oh, it's been sat there for 20 years. You're telling me the most iconic ship in the galaxy, and it probably is, the most famous ship in the galaxy, the Millennium
Yeah, but the
fucking
galaxy's
Falcon. It's been
big.
at the destruction of 2 Death Stars, right? And it's just been allowed to sit under a sheet on some desert planet for
but-
20 years.
Yeah, but...
Bullshit.
that-
No, they know what
No,
they've
I
got
don't
there.
care. I don't care because I'm not thinking. All I care about is that moment in the cinema when I was watching that scene for the first time, and they're running towards the camera, and she's like, "Not that hump of junk." And then the ship they're going towards blows up, and then she's like, "Oh, the hump of junk will do fine." And then the camera spins around, and come on! No, I just did Indiana Jones. But that moment, that was like, yay! That's what I want in the cinema. I'm not in there to.
No, I like a bit of.
I like
The
to.
depth
I
in
know
it.
I have to suspend disbelief. I know it's a movie.
It's set in fucking space.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? Let's just move on from this. Otherwise, we're gonna spend fucking 2 hours discussing Star Wars. Right. Let's crack on. What's the next bit of news? What we got?
Next bit of news.
It's a Daily Star article.
It is a Daily Star article. Ghosts and demons on a rampage in Britain as exorcism in crisis.
Oh, fantastic.
Priests are not performing enough exorcisms to keep demons at bay. Jesus Christ! It's the Brexit apocalypse.
Oh my! Do you think the Brexit vote was some portal to hell in the end?
Hull is now a portal to hell.
It was before.
But if they fucking stop touching kids for 5 minutes and just... Sorry, allegedly.
No, they're touching kids. They're touching kids.
Go and touch less kids and get rid of more ghosts.
Expert Pat Collins.
Why is an expert in fucking quotation marks?
Yeah. And also, what's he an expert of? Is he just exorcisms and ghosts, or has he got any qualifications?
He's seen Ghostbusters.
What's his experience?
37 times.
I've seen Ghostbusters more than that. Does that mean I can be fucking an expert?
Yeah.
Fantastic. No, I'm an expert.
Apparently he's an exorcist.
All right. Okay.
Expert exorcist Pat Collins believes ghostly spirits are out of control and taking over people's bodies in growing numbers. Holy fuck! Why is no one trying to stop this?
Well, priests aren't doing enough exorcists.
No, the priest accused the church of not training enough exorcists. He said, I don't think the hierarchy is taking this need seriously.
Oh, it's fucking austerity again, isn't it? It cuts the police, the fire service, the armed forces, no priests. Exorcists.
It's nothing safe.
I have been asked by 2 bishops to handle difficult cases on their behalf.
Yeah, I bet you have.
In those cases, I had permission to do whatever I thought was necessary, up to the point of solemn exorcism. In a letter to bishops, Collins, who is based in Dublin, described the matter as urgent.
Well, I'd say it's more than fucking urgent if there's demons possessing people left, right and centre. I'd say that's really urgent.
That's really going to hit the tourism trade, isn't it? In Ireland.
Fucking hell. So what's his... So is there literally like a massive tangible rise in little girls rolling around in beds screaming and puking and like, you know...
Depends what kind of monastery you're in.
What's he basing this on?
Well, he's an exorcist himself. He's obviously had lots to do.
So what it is, he's been overworked over the last year because, you know, there's not so many exorcists.
Yeah.
And he's a bit pissed off. He's not got a pay rise this year. Times are hard in the church. People aren't going. You notice there's only ever religious people that get possessed by demons as well. You never get an atheist getting possessed by demons, do you?
That's it. Well,
I don't know how many people that claim to be possessed by demons.
Oh, I think if you went down sort of one of our local high streets on a Wednesday, market day, when the homeless people have been in the pub, I think you'd probably get someone claiming to do it. Remember Mad Wendy from down Wellington High Street? She was a lunatic.
I do remember Mad Wendy. She chased me once.
Yeah, she may have been possessed.
She was possessed by, I'm going to say, heroin?
Possibly.
Cheap vodka.
Demons in themselves, Gaz. Demons in themselves.
I love my demons. Sippy from the can.
Right. We'll leave that one then because that's...
Well, there's not a lot I've got to say about it. To be honest, I just don't know how he can prove it. And I feel a lot of these exorcism videos and things online, I think a lot of it is, I think there's some mentally ill people.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it is.
Go and see a mental health professional, not somebody, and they do have to train to do, not all exorcisms. It's like the army, there's ranks. You've got to go to your fucking exorcism school and become, get your exorcism stripes. But yeah, I think they should probably just refer people to the doctors, maybe. So yeah.
Well, the Catholic Church, they believe it. They think it happens.
You know what?
Yeah,
I'd like to sit in on one.
Oh no, I'd find it really uncomfortable.
I really would. We sat there smoking a fag. Exercise are good.
Yeah. I get uncomfortable around real mental health issues. Do you know what I mean? Like when someone's being actually mental. Because I'm a bit mental, but when someone's being, mental.
Yeah, but it's alright because they get strapped down to a bed while the priest prays at them and you're just sitting there smoking. You haven't got to do anything about it.
Facebook Live.
Yeah. At the exorcism, laugh out loud.
Oh, have you heard about this internet man?
Oh, this
Logan
YouTuber.
Paul. I might have his name wrong, but I don't give a fuck.
He looks like a bit of a cunt.
He is a cunt. He's gone to the suicide forest and tried acting shocked that they found a body. And like, oh my god, this is the... Dude, you went there fucking...
Why else would you go to the suicide forest?
Exactly. And
Well, unless you're going to commit suicide.
massively disrespectful. Anyway, it's all blown up in his face. I was shocked to hear this guy, and his fame boomed in the space of a year last year. And he bought himself a $6.5 billion house.
Million dollar.
Million. Sorry. $1 million house. So he's earned at least 6.5.
I think I remember reading he'd earned 23 million.
There you go. But apparently it's all up in the air at the moment. It's all about to fall. Well, it has fallen to pieces because he fucked up, and his apologies were blatantly insincere. And I'm just mind boggled on many levels by that story. How do you earn 23 million from being on YouTube?
I don't know.
I guess it's 1 billion hits. And yeah, anyway, what an idiot. Why go to the suicide forest? You were there for a reason.
See, I don't know who this guy is. I've never seen him until this broke out. But he looks like someone who's appealing to like sort of young teenagers. He's got a little, even though he's clearly in his mid-20s, and you know, he's got a little Pokemon hat on, and you think, are you just trying to lure kids in?
It's all about the clicks, man. It just as many views on his page. That's what it's all about. And so yeah, it was a very irresponsible thing to do. Apparently, they blurred the body's face out.
Oh, that's
well
nice.
done.
Yeah, well done. This is like a corpse hanging from a tree.
Yeah, it's still literally a corpse hanging from a tree. So anyway, what's the next one, man?
Yeah.
Loch Ness Monster spotted alive and well on holiday in Albania.
Whoa. So Nessie, right, after Brexit can fuck off to Albania on holiday without having a visa, but I'm going to have to fucking queue.
Yeah.
Maybe it's got a blue passport now.
To be honest, if you see Nessie walking through customs, probably just going to wave her through.
I think I'm going to notice she's on the fucking plane for a start.
Maybe they just tow her. Like she's just flapping about in the wind on a rope behind the plane. I don't know.
Cut the rope as you land over Romania.
See you, Nessie!
We'll pick you up on the way back. Sky hooker out of there like in The Dark Knight Return. Dark Knight.
Oh man. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
But so...
Go on then, it's...
Some are wondering if Nessie has gone on a winter break after the creature was filmed in the middle of the Great Prespa Lake, which is shared by Albania, Greece and Macedonia.
Is it not more logical that there's two fucking Nessies? There's two... Why presume it's the same one on holiday?
Because this is the mirror! Let's have a look at the picture. There is a picture.
Can I just say, how did it get out of the lock?
Yeah.
It's like
Well, there's
landlocked,
probably
isn't it?
underground
Hey!
channels, Mike.
Oh, yeah, cool.
Because it's the deepest lock in the country. They don't know what... I don't think they've ever actually sent down anything to the very bottom.
Is there a
It's just
connecting
murky.
train to the tunnel?
There could
The
be.
channel tunnel.
He went through the Hollow Earth, didn't he?
Hollow Earth.
Yeah.
Well, it's all flat, isn't it? Is it flat or hollow? I don't know. Could be both.
It's both, isn't it?
That's just a fucking bit of tree. I'm
This
sorry.
is the mirror if the listeners want to go and find it.
The Daily Mirror from the UK, should we point out?
Yeah.
That's a tree. that's a branch. I'm
Oh, it's a
sorry.
man with a sock on his hand.
Yeah.
Doing sock for fit.
Where's that bloke from WWE gone who used to have the sock on
Oh,
his hand?
Santino, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just him. Is he being fired yet?
No, he doesn't work for them anymore.
Oh, there we go. That's what he's doing now. Then.
So, yeah.
So the footage that we're seeing appears to show the head and neck of a large creature emerging from the water.
Great. Well, yeah, fantastic. But even the most famous photo of Nessie was proven to be a hoax, and
That's a whole episode.
Oh,
so that's a whole other episode.
But I just think it's insane that
It
people...
looks so photoshopped in.
It does. It's terrible. It's awful.
The assumption that it's the same animal on holiday.
Yeah.
They've not thought this through.
No.
How did she get there? The logistics. It doesn't make any sense.
No, it's bullshit. Bullshit.
Not having
Get
it.
in the reggae box.
I'm not saying I don't believe in Nessie. I just don't believe Nessie travels.
Nessie's
That's
just a ploy by those canny Scots to get a bit of extra money coming in off the tourism board.
It is canny. Good on him. So
we've got one more piece of news.
One more piece of news, then we're going to call a piss break.
Hey.
Yeah, it's the traditional after the fake news.
Well, I have one brief, but we'll get onto that. Well, okay.
I'll go on.
Margaret Thatcher refused to fly with a panda because it wasn't a happy omen.
Yes.
Oh.
I briefly saw this.
Did you?
Yeah.
This, for anybody who doesn't know, Margaret Thatcher was our first female Prime Minister, 1979 to 1990.
Bitch.
The Conservative Party.
I want my milk, Maggie!
I'll always remember that, Gaz. The day that they stopped my free milk.
I remember the poll tax.
Yeah, I remember the riots.
I just remember I remember the riots, everyone fucking not taking it.
I remember the day the music died.
When this bitch was born. I loved it when she...
I'll love it if we beat them!
I was going to say I love it when she died. It's a bit harsh. When she died...
Oh, I've got it. Sorry.
When she died, they released, didn't they? Everyone started buying Ding Dong the Witch is Dead.
And the
It got to
BBC tried
they didn't play it. It got to number 2.
censoring themselves though. It's ridiculous.
I know.
That was a bit of a...
That just
They
shows
let
you,
themselves down.
that
there.
shows you how wedded to the establishment they are.
Yeah.
Well, they wouldn't play the Liar Liar song with Theresa May either, would they? That was what, number 1 or something.
Is that... Do they get round that though by saying, oh, we have to be apolitical with the
They
BBC?
did 'cause it was during the election.
Yeah.
But the Ding Dong Which is Dead,
That's
A,
not-
isn't political,
Yeah.
and B, it wasn't during an election.
That's them showing their colours there, isn't it?
Oh, totally,
Yeah.
mate, totally. Well, these are the people that covered up for Jimmy Savile and all the fucking paedophiles. So...
And are still doing it, probably. Let's face it.
Cool.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
They're
allegedly.
all in together, aren't they?
Bastard.
We're all in it together.
So let's explain to the listener why she wouldn't fly with the panda then.
Panda diplomacy may have been a favourite ploy of Chinese leaders, but newly released government files reveal that Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher was no fan of the idea. Despite the creature's almost universal appeal, papers released by the National Archives in Kew show that she believed they did not make happy omens for travelling politicians. A surprising aversion emerged in January 1981 when the Smithsonian Institution in Washington asked London Zoo for the loan of its male panda to be mated with a female panda which the China had given to the United States. Mrs. Thatcher, however, was having none of it. Her private secretary, Clive Whitmore, replied, she has commented that she is not taking a panda with her. Pandas and politicians are not happy omens. She added in a handwritten aside, Lord Zed knows more about pandas than I do. I'm sure he can arrange these things.
My God, they want to see the panda in the back of Concorde. Wow. That
Poor
panda's
panda.
face would just be flying in the fucking hold of Concorde.
No, there's
Jesus.
an image.
Well, it just goes to show what an evil bitch she was, because everyone loves a panda.
Well, yeah.
I'd want the panda in the fucking cabin with me.
Well, to
Wouldn't
be
you?
honest,
You're in a little cage.
I
And,
think-
hey, let's have the panda
I
out.
like pandas, apart from the fact that, obviously, if this is your first episode you've listened to, dear listener, I don't think I've mentioned it yet, but I'm a massive pro wrestling fan. I can't handle real sports, so I go for fake ones. If it wasn't for those fucking pandas, it would still be called the WWF.
That's true.
Yeah. And do you know whose fault it is? Do you know it's Britain's fault? In America, Vince had that all sewed up, like, legally. But we've got some sort of law in the UK. I can't remember if it was a trademark law or some sort of charity law. For some reason, it was in a British court, they managed to fucking sew this giant entertainment company and quite a small charity at that point. They were global, but not...
Yeah.
I don't think it's popular, nowhere near as famous as the WWF wrestling. But anyway, yeah, so fucking pandas.
Yeah. Shame.
They don't even want to survive. I mean, I know they're cute and cuddly, but you can't even get them to fuck. They don't want to survive. We've got to stop meddling in things. I know you gave me that factoid recently, Mike, that we're in the whatever extinction and 80% of the animals are going to die out. That's very sad, but not the pandas. I mean, they can't... We've given them every opportunity to succeed.
What it is they haven't got anything we want. If, like, panda meat was the ultimate fucking impotence cure,
Wow.
someone would figure out how to get and breed.
Yeah.
You know, they would, because we'd need it. People would want it.
Yeah.
There's no demand for anything the panda's got, so no one's
we
interested.
genetically engineer pandas.
Yeah.
But
Well,
should,
yeah.
should we have a pee break?
Mm.
So, my news story was, and I can't remember where this came from, it was from a lecture I was watching about black budget, military black budget things. Anyway, apparently, in the dark recesses of Area 51, they've got a bar.
I like this idea.
And it's called Sam's Place. Apparently that's named after some general or something. And somebody's claimed that the bar, it's got a full nightclub inside. There's pool tables, dartboard, even an indoor pool.
Sounds good.
Now this could, if it's there, it could be the most boring thing on earth, full of like boring engineering type people just having a
getting drunk before the plane comes and picks them up.
Or it could be like the fucking cantina from Star Wars. Yeah. There could be like, I mean, seriously, if it's there, if it's true, so humans and aliens getting wasted together in a bar in fucking Nevada. Is it in Nevada?
Yeah.
Yeah? It's just like space pilots, Greys, Nordics, Martians, reptilians, Aryan supermen, and possibly fucking Alf.
Alf would be there.
They're all doing shots in a fucking bar. Who's the fucking bouncer? RoboCop. Imagine if it all kicks off. So this got my brain. I turned to my girlfriend last night and said, that would make a hell. That's a sitcom in the waiting. Cheers in space. And she said, why don't you write it? And I said, well, I haven't got time. But I did write a brief sketch. So prepare yourselves, dear listener, for some amateur dramatics. Hey.
Bearing in mind that me and Mike have never acted before in our lives.
This is supposed to be a laugh, so if it's utterly shit, we'll cut it out and you'll never hear it.
Well, we could have released it as a special.
So here, try and imagine then the cheesy sitcom intro. There's some cheesy music, and it comes up Sam's place, and the studio audience applause. And
the light comes on saying applause.
Oh yes. And here we are in Sam's place.
Okay, Sam's place. The bar at the heart of Area 51, the most secret drinking hole on Earth. A hive of scum and villainy. Every type of alien known to man drinks side by side with the human employees of Area 51. The bartender, Sam, is a friendly yet stern lizard man who tries to run a tight ship. At the bar sits Commander Slobstar, a brave and dashing yet troubled Solar Warden space pilot.
For fuck's sake.
What's up, Commander?
I'm being charged with fraud.
Tax evasion, is it?
Well, kind of. It's complicated. Bottom line is, right, let me tell you this. If you're an intergalactic space pilot, they won't let you fuck about with their money.
Was it some sort of off-world shore fun type of thing?
I mean, they spend fucking billions on black budget defence schemes, and no one misses it. No one bats an eyelid. I transfer 3 billion poxy quid to Blackburn Rovers account and everyone loses their shit.
You transferred £3 billion of government funds to a football team?
Of course I fucking did. I've saved countless galaxies without the public ever knowing or even getting the chance to thank me. Just a few fucking trophies from IT and I'm happy. But no. Fucking President Microhands a Moron King says give it back and puts me, the galaxy's second most dashing pilot on trial. What a shit show.
That explains why you're on pint number 13.
Yeah, and you better pour 14 for me. Quick time, you lizard lip prick.
In walks Science Officer Snidey, a classic alien grey with a big head and even bigger fingers.
They should ban you like you creepy little bastards.
Slobby, behave yourself, please.
He's got no fucking trousers on, Sam.
Your disapproval of my exposed crotch is illogical, as I have no genitalia to speak of. It is just a harmless lump.
I know, that's what's so fucking creepy about it.
I mean you no harm, Carbon Commander Man of Earth. Go back to your self-destruction.
I'll destroy your mother's anus with my space cock, grey boy.
My mother has no anus, and your cock would not survive my homeworld's atmosphere. Please leave me alone. Don't you have some money to embezzle or something?
Oh, you cheeky little bastard. I know what your kind get up to with them fingers. And you've got the nerve to cheat me, Mr. Rapey Digits.
Oh, shit. Shut up, you two. Look who it is. Oh, of all the space bars in all the galaxy, these pair of cunts had to walk into mine.
In walks a clearly drunk Alex Jones and President Trump.
Ugh, bastard's here to gloat and he's bought his best lapdog to join in. Pint number 15 it is, please, Samuel.
Even my much greater and far superior capacity for patience will be tested by the presence of these two shitbirds. No trouble, please. Oh, fucking hell. Well, if it isn't the world's dumbest space pilot, Blackburn Rovers, are you fucking kidding me? That money could have been put to good use, you dummy.
Like what? Researching at a best for late an impotent president.
You've got a nerve, flyboy.
And you've got a live animal on your fucking head.
And with $3 billion, I could have found out who put the fluoride in the water and turned the frickin' frogs gay.
Well, I'm sure if you stick 2 fingers up Donald's arse, he'll probably tell you who pours in your water. Fucking hell, put 3 up there, I'll probably tell you which planet his hair comes from.
My heightened senses include the ability to predict violence. I have a bad feeling about this. Sam, is Robocop still working the door at this place? No, I had to let him go. Oh no, not Robo. Yeah, I caught him doing coke in the bogs with some bloke called Clarence. Shame, really. Who said that you could speak in front of the president, you creepy grey fuck? I know what those fingers are for, dirty little bastard. A good, credible, reliable source tells me that you grey shitheads fart, chemtrails, and shit cancer bricks. Oh no, he's going full Alex.
Yeah, he's creepy, but he is my creepy little bastard, and I'll defend his honour, president or no president.
But we've only just met.
Shut up and grab a bottle, you freakish light bulb-headed bookworm. It's time to smash some faces and fuck some skulls.
Oh, it's on like Donkey Kong, son. Gay frogs!
A massive, hyper-violent brawl breaks out. Lizards fight greys, Nordics fight Atlanteans, while Slobstar and Snide fight Trump and Jones. Like a man possessed, Slobstar unleashes his fearsome battle cry.
Fuck you, I'm Blackburn!
Get this creepy bastard's giant finger out of my eye! I'm going blind! I'll finger fuck your mind, Alex! You will hang for this, Slobstar.
The violence continues. People are being punched through portals into other dimensions. Bottles, knives, laser swords, brass knuckles, and miniature thermonuclear grenades have all been used. It looks like all is lost for Sam's Place, as the world's most secret bar is on the verge of being swallowed by a whirlwind of brawling creatures. Then, from the corner of the bar, comes a booming voice of calm, stopping the fighting in its tracks.
I am Vrillon of the Hashtag Intergalactic Command. I come to you in peace. Only by putting down your weapons can you attain the next level of your evolution.
Vrillon was interrupted as a Newcastle brown ale bottle was smashed over the back of his magnificent head.
Sorry, Billy boy, no time for that epi shit. I've got a score to settle. Eat glass, Donny, you big orange bellend.
Just as the insane brawl was about to erupt, Sam's prayers were answered. The entire bar shook to the unmistakable sounds of the coolest ship in the galaxy landing outside. President Trump had no idea what he was in for, as he kneeled, cradling the limp body of his fallen bum chum Alex Jones. He swore to himself that he would nuke Sam's Place off the face of the earth, but Trump had no idea whose ship it was outside. Even in a fictional world, Donald Trump is a fuckhead. The patrons of the bar looked up in awe as the footsteps of a god rang out.
Fuck me.
Oh my god, it can't be. See, it is me, Captain Burrito from a Dimension X! My fingers are throbbing, he's so dreamy. I don't care who you are, I will close this bar down, then I will nuke it. With my big button. Hey, Bendeco, why don't you just chill out and enjoy a burrito? I built walls to keep people like you out. Oh, Holmes, I'm not people, I'm all burrito ese.
President Trump died a slow and agonising death as Captain Burrito forced a burrito down his windpipe. His body was placed on top of Alex Jones's body in a very gay way, and they were both sent to decompose in Dimension X.
The drinks are on the house.
Oh, cheers, Captain. I owe you one.
No problemo. For you, Slobstar, I would do anything. You were incredible back there. Hey, fingers to yourself, you creepy little bastard.
And so the patrons of Sam's Place went back to their business. Science Officer Snidey did some probing in the name of science. A USA had an election, and Commander Slobstar and Captain Burrito from Dimension X went on to save many worlds and break the hearts of many, many green-skinned girls. They also snorted 7 metric tons of Martian cocaine, but that's a different story for another time.
And Blackburn Rovers won the Champions League.
Oh yes, at the end. Hey, well done, boys. That was funny.
that was well good.
Fucking well done,
Thank you.
well done on the voices there. I'll give you that.
Yeah,
Fucking,
fair play.
I didn't realise how many voices there were going to be in that.
I tried to write it so that there was no two. So none of that happened. Like
I like
two
the fact there's a
voices.
brummy lizard. That was brilliant.
Thanks for indulging me, boys. That was I spent about 2 hours of my life last night scribbling out the ramblings of a madman. So if Sam's Place does exist, let us know, listener, if you enjoyed Sam's Place. I might write another one. But I'd love to think that it is full of every type. Remember you gave me the list of aliens last time we recorded? Yeah. I couldn't think of them last night when I was trying to write. But how many was there?
Oh, there was at least 5.
So
there's probably more, but that was the most common 5. Yeah.
All those different types and some of these Solar Warden pilots.
Yeah, what was he knocking around?
Just knocking around having a drink like that fucked up bar in Star Wars, to quote Jay and Silent Bob.
Yeah, and if listeners would like to email us and tell us what they thought, and if they want us to do another one.
On to the main
thrust
meat and potatoes of because we're at 40 minutes in, which isn't too bad for us.
That's pretty good.
That's about average, isn't it, for the news section?
Yeah, we've only had one piss break. That's about
yeah,
right.
That's it. We did a fucking play.
Yeah.
So, would you like to introduce the quite frankly fantastic name of this week's subject, Ben?
It is Solar Warden.
Wow.
Metal as fuck.
Yeah, I also I put in my notes, it sounds like the next Star Wars movie, Episode 9, Solar Warden.
Yeah.
Or, it made me think of, I don't know if Cybertron has a son, I don't think it does, but if they did have a son and there was a giant space transformer whose job it was to guard Cybertron's son, and maybe he was powered by it, he'd be called Solar Warden.
He would. What would he transform into, though?
A sun? No, it makes no sense.
A Dyson sphere?
I'm so stupid.
Sorry,
I don't know what that is.
it's a physics term.
Alright, science officer.
Science officer Mike, explain what that is.
Dyson sphere is what scientists believe that Type 3 civilizations are able to harness the whole power of the sun. So they would build something all the way around the sun and harness the whole power for their civilization. That's a Dyson sphere, so that'd be a pretty cool thing to transform into.
Yeah.
Fuck yeah.
And you probably would need that to power a load of transformers.
That's how you take over galaxies and worlds.
Yeah.
Galvatron would want to take the power of him, but wow, that's pretty fucking cool. And what's a Type 3 civilization?
It's the Kardashev scale.
I genuinely think the Kardashians go.
I
was like, you what?
That's something entirely different.
That's how much of a slut you can be.
So, hey baby, nice to meet you. Where are you on the Kardashian scale?
Yeah, exactly. I think I've just invented something, guys. I'm going to go and work on that.
So Type 4 is what, double anal, is it?
So there's an actual...
Yeah.
So Type 1's...
Type 1's missionary position.
So there is a fucking... a scale of, types of life forms that theoretical that would need to survive in certain atmospheres. They would need to be this. They kind of work backwards.
It's quite general. It's about how advanced they are. So Type 1 would be a planetary civilization that can harness the whole power of the planet.
Right.
Which we haven't managed yet.
Oh, we haven't.
Oh man, we're not.
Oh no, we don't use.
Well, no, we're using bones of dinosaurs.
Yeah.
To be fair, it's.
Dinosaur bones, man. Oh yeah, I literally burn dinosaur bones all day for work, don't I?
Yeah.
Soundgarden song.
Oh, that's mad. Wow. Well,
so Type 2 can harness the power of the solar system, I think.
Fucking hell, that's a lot, isn't it?
So they're out there in their local surroundings, using the energy.
Actually, I think it's interplanetary, maybe. Might be more than one planet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Type 3 is solar system, so they've got the Dyson sphere. They can harness the whole power of a sun, and then Type 4 is
they harness the power of the universe, don't they? Universe itself.
Galaxy, I think, maybe universe. I'm not sure. It's something like that. And there's a scale that goes up, 1 to 4. 4th is power of the whole universe.
Sweet. Whoa. We're a long way from that.
Yeah. I mean, I could barely get my fucking phone to charge all day.
Solar Warden.
Yes.
I'm leaving Third Eye Garlic, our fictional reggae band, and I'm going to kick off on my own solo project, Solar Warden.
Yes.
And it's going to be Iron Maiden-esque.
It sounds like it should be.
Yeah. But
So we said we were going to start the best.
Yes.
way into this story
It
is to talk about a dude, isn't it? A real dude.
Well, should we say what Solar Warden is?
Well, it is the secret space program, which is allegedly a secret space fleet which has been up in space since 1980.
Ooh, before we were born.
Yeah.
I've been in space before you were really born.
So let's go to Gary McKinnon, and then we'll kick on with a bit more about Solar Warden. Solar Warden.
Because how do we know about this? The most secret of secrets. How do we, your average conspiratorial theorist, know about it? And that is because of a man named Gary McKinnon, who's just a dude.
Yeah, he is.
Bit of an autistic, would you say, maybe?
I think he is.
Is he, or was that invented as part of the defence?
I've seen interviews with him.
Me too. And he seems perfectly normal to me.
He does.
He's a bit of a stoner.
Apparently so, yeah. So, should we say what
if a
he
stoner can hack...
Who
did he hack?
Let's say, Gary McKinnon
He's a British guy.
He's from Scotland, isn't he? He was born in 1966, so...
Oh, 1966, the only time we won the World Cup. It's a hallowed date in the memories of the English.
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah, he was born in a special year, so he's a special dude.
And when Church of Satan was created.
Hail him, our Lord Satan.
Well, he's a systems administrator, and
he's the Antichrist.
Yes.
Satan or Gary McKinnon?
Gary McKinnon.
I thought saying a pact chamber become a systems administrator.
Born in 1966.
Yeah, it's all adding up. As previously stated, bit of a stoner. I think is into your alternative theories, let's say, and also he claims to be on the autistic,
isn't he?
Well, he didn't start off as that, did he? He taught him. The interview I watched, he was a self-taught hacker who used his was it his aunt, his girlfriend's
girlfriend's aunt's computer. But his hacker name was Solo. It does sound kind of cool. I'll give him that.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty cool.
And he actually left taunting messages for them.
Should I tell you?
Sounds like a loader, though, doesn't he? Solo.
Will I tell you the official crime he was accused of? Because he did some hacking, didn't he? And we'll get into what the good bits of what he claims to have seen. But so he's a little Scottish dude. Imagine him having he doesn't speak with Scottish accent, does he? But he's smoking his weed.
Yeah.
He's using his girlfriend's auntie's computer to look at a lot of shit that he shouldn't be looking at. And he's doing it a lot. Hours and hours of it. And one day, he gets a knock at the door from the British police, who tell him that he's wanted by the American government.
Did we arrest him?
We arrested him first. And apparently he says, in the interview I watched, that they were, when he was first arrested, they were very jovial with him and very pleasant.
Our police?
Our police, yeah. And
they would be. They're pretty quite enjoying it, aren't they?
And they told him, according to Gary, that he'd be let off with a caution. It's nothing to worry about. A few weeks go by and the British police in charge of the case have been contacted by the Americans. They've been actually out to America.
Wow.
Flown out there and come back with an entirely new attitude to Gary. And then...
are we on good cop, bad cop at this point?
Kind of, yeah. And the US military, basically, they were intent on extraditing him to America. They claimed he not only hacked, but they claimed deleted information, which stopped supply runs and things and caused critical damage.
Wasn't it to the Navy though, not Solar Warden? It was to
it was
he
to
tried
the
to mess around with it. I think it was munition shipments to the Atlantic Fleet, was it, or something like that?
Now they claim that Gary plays down what he did. You know, he likes to say, "No, I was just looking for some aliens." But also, were they is this the US? Because they've got to have a reason to extradite this guy.
Yeah.
They're claiming that he did used the computer to cause real damage
To their defense
and their security. He did leave a little message. Have you got one of his messages? I've got it here if you haven't.
No, go for it.
He left a few things that were slightly political. US foreign policy, I'm quoting now, this is one of the messages that Gary left in the US system somewhere. US foreign policy is akin to government-sponsored terrorism these days. It was not a mistake that there was a huge security stand-down on September 11 last year. I am solo. I will continue to destruct at the highest levels.
Don't leave them messages.
Yes, he also left one that says, your security is crap, which is such a British way of putting it.
Which basically they then know they've got to narrow their search down to Great Britain.
Well,
because no one else in the world would call it crap.
Exactly. So this guy though, then when the interview I watched, did you see this, Mike? Where he was saying, because we'll save what he found, I think, for the end, because that's the juicy bit. This is just his story. This is how you know this is real, listener. Like, because this was massive front page news for him.
Yeah. It was as a fight to stop him. We fought as well.
To keep
they fought to stop him being extradited to America.
Yep, celebrities got involved.
Years it was.
Yeah, 11.5-year court battle. Celebrities got involved to raise money for his legal battles, and he claimed to be autistic, and he was clever. I feel sorry for him, but he was smart. He said, the second time it's said that I'm going to be extradited, I will kill myself, and this is how I'm going to do it. And he's...
How was he going to do it?
I can't remember. He said in the interview I watched, but I can't think now. And the doctor basically said to a court, like, no, that is, I believe this. So, from our sort of point of view, we're a bit more humane, I would say, in our legal system. But
Yeah.
America, they wanted him to face, was it 70 years?
70 years. I've got it somewhere, what it was for. No, 70 years. It's also it's the biggest military computer hack of all time. So you've got China and North Korea battering on the door of the American computer defense network every day, apparently dozens of times an hour.
Yeah.
And Gary McKinnon on his girlfriend's auntie's computer.
And he's self-taught, apparently.
Self-taught. Manages to hack his way through.
Mm-hmm. I heard that they didn't have many defences.
He claims in the interview I watched that there was thousands of other people who shouldn't have been on the servers while he was, and they were aware of each other, and he could see that they were from all over the world.
Wow, which if you're led to believe the claims that they literally defend themselves against dozens of attacks an hour and every day, every hour, every day from the Chinese.
Yeah.
Then you've got to wonder why Gary McKinnon's just having a stroll through, leaving a few mocking little messages. Fuck you, America. You own it. I'm Gary fucking McKinnon. I'm solo. I'm solo.
He's not going to give his real name.
Well, they found him anyway.
My girlfriend's
obviously not clever enough to hide his IP address.
Nah. Well, I heard him in the interview say that the moment he was looking at a picture that we'll talk about a bit later, and he literally saw the computer he was hacking, the person who take control of the mouse and click it off and take control back, and he's like, oh. But, shit, where was I going? Oh yeah, my girlfriend said she thinks he was allowed in as far as he got so that they could then make an example of him.
Gotcha.
To
Makes
put
sense.
off other more qualified people from trying, which is one theory. But so, they tried to extradite him. It takes 11 fucking years. It's very long and drawn out, but they don't. The guy is still, you can find him online, walking free, and probably very happy.
Yeah, because at the time, the US and the UK didn't have an extradite treaty.
They changed the law for him.
They changed the law for him, and they changed it so it would punish retrospectively. So to try and get him specifically,
now,
still he managed to get over, didn't he?
I was thinking about this the other day. All this support that he got from celebrities and things, if you put your mind back to around that time when it happened, 2002, 2004, anti-American sentiment was at a high.
Oh,
because
God, yeah.
George Bush.
Yeah, we had the Iraq War.
I remember I was at uni around that time, I was reading Michael Moore's books.
Oh, he was where I found out 9/11.
Yeah, I had a poster with all Bush's stupid moronic quotes on it. It was all anti-American. So
yeah, it's just fair to say that the average British public was not a fan of.
So this played into that though, didn't it? An aggressive American, like I don't care if he's autistic. He's just a normal bloke. We want him 70 years. We want him now. And I guess maybe the British mindset at that time was like, this is just akin to going into the illegal wars and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like
there was a feeling that we were kind of America's little lapdog at the time, and on the world stage as well. So
this is a way to stand up, wasn't it? And our friend Theresa May.
Wow.
Had something to do with this, as she was Foreign Secretary at the time.
Home Secretary.
One of the
Home
secretaries.
Secretary,
She was one of them. She's pivotal in the fact that he was not extradited.
Interesting.
Yeah, so we owe something, I suppose, because I like this guy. I've got to say, I've watched his interviews and I quite like him.
I have a theory about that.
What's that?
And it will come in later on, that because we contribute certain technologies to Solar Warden, it may have been a case of we kind of may have done a deal behind the back to keep McKinnon here, possibly, something like that, because we contribute to the technologies involved within its program quite heavily, apparently.
Well, we are the world leaders in everything. Apart from
In
the sports we
manufactured
invented.
weapons, we're pretty much up there.
Health and fitness.
That we sell to fucking Saudi Arabia.
Yes, but then again, so is everyone else.
Doesn't mean that we should do
Well, I'm not saying we should, no.
Do we sell to Mars?
Well,
So, is there any more about Gary before we reveal what this Scottish stoner actually found? Which, well, he probably saw a shitload of stuff because he was doing it for hours and hours, but the 2 or 3
He said he was doing it for months before.
Yeah, so...
it just bugged me that he never kind of... He must have downloaded his stuff.
They've got that original hard drive. It's never been given back to him. He claims to still be fighting to try and get that back, because that's where he says the list is.
I'll guarantee
which we'll explain later.
That's been destroyed. But yeah, so let's explain what he found. He found out evidence for a secret space program, Solar Warden, an Earth Defence Force, a Solar Defence Force. It consists of at least 8 cigar-shaped motherships, which are 2 football fields in length.
A bit like that asteroid that we saw.
Yeah, on Oumuamua.
Yeah.
Oh.
That was a cigar shape, wasn't it?
Yeah. And 43 scout ships.
No, just on the
which
cigar
apparently are the famous black triangles that are a lot of UFO sightings.
Flying Doritos, I got some stuff on them.
Yeah.
But just on the cigar shape thing, we learned in a previous episode, and I'm a bit disappointed by this, that the reason of the cigar is basically just dealing with debris and asteroids, that it's just the least likely to get twatted by stuff, I suppose. Which... yeah, I know it's sensible, but fuck, X-Wings look so cool.
They do, don't they?
But, you know, science. So, yes, so, run them numbers by me one more time.
So there's 8 cigar-shaped motherships.
Yeah, and they're pretty huge, aren't they?
2 football fields in length. So, I know there's an American football field, one of our... I don't know if there's actually... I don't even know if there's a size difference in American football fields. I don't like American football. So
Me neither.
I tried to watch the Super Bowl once and gave up after 20 minutes because I don't see what they needed the armour. Well, I didn't.
Well, it's true. It is true.
Yeah, and then there was 43 scout ships, which are the and then there's the, I suppose there's all the support craft and different things. So it's pretty sizable, in all fairness. And it's made up of black budget contractors from the US aerospace industry, but parts and systems by the Canada, the UK, Austria, Russia, and Australia. So it is almost, and it does, even though it is sort of US, predominantly US built and crewed, it does come under the authority of the UN to a degree. So I suppose that would be a new contact kind of thing. Well, wouldn't it? You were like, all right, well, I'm the new contact over to the UN, and if we meet someone new, and then the Americans can bomb it.
These motherships, he's literally seen them grounded. Like he saw an aerial, like bird's eye view, wasn't it? I think. So where's he? Am I being confused? What has he seen? Them
No, he's...
Parked on the ground?
No.
In orbit?
They would be in orbit, if anything, yeah, because you wouldn't... That's something that big couldn't just pop down, I mean...
Yeah, that's very true.
People would see it.
Too many... Unless it's got some kind of cloaking device. But even so, the amount of... But we have to assume here that we're not dealing with what we think our level of technology is.
Right.
Now, we've got... what's his face? Ben Rich...
Yeah.
Lockheed Skunkworks, 1975 to 1991. He's the father of the stealth bomber. He's the guy that suggested the SR-71 Blackbird should be painted black.
Yeah.
Probably because of it would reduce friction, and secondly because it looks fucking cool.
Badass.
Yeah. We have given this quote before, but it's always worth going over again, and it is very relevant.
Pertains to this episode.
Very much so. We already have the means to travel among the stars, but those technologies are locked up in black projects, and it would take an act of God to ever get them out to benefit humanity. Anything you can imagine, we already know how to do. We now have the technology to take E.T. home. No, it wasn't. It won't take someone's life to do it. There's an error in the equations, and we know what it is. We now have the capability to travel to the stars. First, you have to understand that we will not get to the stars using chemical propulsion. Secondly, we have to devise a new propulsion technology. What we have to do is find where Einstein went wrong.
Now, this was new to me, because you mentioned this the other week.
This was 93, and the final slide of that presentation was a black disc flying into outer space.
Well, Einstein was wrong. We mentioned this, I think, last week sometime, but that's new to me. So, is that fact? Is he wrong?
Well, what's wrong about quantum physics?
Yeah, because he's only a man. He must have made mistakes.
I think it was Niels Bohr.
Niels Bohr's?
Niels Bohr, Swedish or...
Can we just call him Niels Bohr from now on?
He won the Nobel Prize, didn't he?
You're pretty much more with that than I am, Mike.
For discovering sort of quantum mechanics.
Discovering Niels Bohr's?
Yeah. Neil Armstrong's balls.
Maybe. I read about Armstrong in this, actually.
Yeah.
And they were saying that, obviously, all the astronauts know about it, and they've probably served in it. And they were all surprised that he never made a deathbed confession. Apparently, with Armstrong.
Is he dead?
Yeah, Neil Armstrong's dead.
Oh, sorry.
One of my heroes. I was quite good when he died, actually.
R.I.P. Neil.
Yeah.
I heard he gave a quote. I don't know whether it can be proven that he said that this is him talking, but that they were warned off the moon.
Mm-hmm.
They saw something, and that we've back engineered technology from alien stuff. Apparently, allegedly.
Yeah, I've got something like that later actually, so I'll save that.
So there's a chance that we have potentially, if we have back engineered, if we've had crashed UFOs, obviously we go back to our Roswell episode where we weren't all that supportive of it. In fact, we were accused of on Facebook of sort of being a bit of a cover-up sort of episode, actually.
Being a NASA shill.
Shills. Dirty
yeah.
shills.
But we did...
Well, listen, my entire attitude, and I'll stand by this, if you've been listening in order,
then God help your sanity.
Yeah. my fucking attitude to aliens has changed significantly since the fucking Pentagon has basically started confirming that they are real. So yeah, I may have scoffed at Roswell and anything with the term ufologist attached to it, but right now I'm all fucking ears. Okay, I'm all fucking ears. So.
Just tell us who they are and what they want. We started hearing Edgar Mitchell quote.
Probe me.
Always.
We were a little bit critical of Edgar Mitchell in our emergency broadcast. I was. I massive it, but I do know a little bit more about him that makes me think space crazy. But
was he the astronaut that did seances and?
That's right. Yeah, tried to do ESP sessions from space.
Right. We called him a bit of a prick, I think. Yeah, we did.
It didn't come off well. I'd like to apologise for that, actually.
Sorry.
I suspect that in the last 60 years or so, there has been some back engineering and the creation of this type of equipment that is not nearly as sophisticated yet as what the apparent visitors have. So basically, he's saying
We got something.
We've got stuff. We've back engineered it, but it ain't as good as what the aliens have got because we're still on a learning curve. And if you think this is, let's say from 47, right, that we had something and we immediately started back engineering this, and Solar Warden's been up by the 80s, 1980, they finished it. So that means they must have had to start building it in the 60s. Easy, mustn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, 20 years to build 8 motherships.
Well,
I mean, these things are 2 football pitches long. That's
Well, hang on.
not as big as an aircraft carrier, I don't think.
What's it called when Eisenhower met the aliens?
Oh, I don't remember the name of the treaty, but yeah.
That was in the mid-60s, was it not?
Yeah,
So
that was the 50s.
Oh, okay, so it makes sense that it started after then,
Yeah.
didn't it?
They would have given us the technology.
Yeah. Well, I heard it was actually 1942.
42.
The Los Angeles, Battle of Los Angeles.
Battle of Los Angeles, alright, go on,
That's
because I haven't
right.
heard this theory. I know about the Battle of Los Angeles, though.
Was there an actual... Not like the movie with aliens.
No.
Oh.
Do you know about the historical one?
No?
From
I don't think so.
1942? I'll slip our history head on.
Hey!
1942, it's Los Angeles, it's on the west coast. Everyone's terrified of another Japanese attack because Pearl Harbor had happened. And, there's been U-boats spotted, Japanese submarines, spotted off the coast of California and everything. And they're all in a bit of a flap. And then all of a sudden, on the night in question, the anti-aircraft batteries around Los Angeles just open up. There's searchlights going up. They fire something like over 1,000 shells up in the air. And remember, anti-aircraft shells, they go up, they explode, they blow out fragmentation. Whatever they don't hit falls back to the earth.
Right.
And nothing was hit. They found no wreckage, but there's a photo.
That's what they want you to think.
They found, there was a photo of something being illuminated by the searchlights. And obviously then, everything opened up at it, and they didn't hit anything. And they put it down to balloon bombs. They put it down to radar. Because the Japanese launched a series of balloon bombs. You discussed it in the Roswell episode.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
And they were saying, just a radar blip. It was just something that wasn't there. It was just radar was still fairly primitive at the time. I don't think we'd give them the best version of it because we had a pretty decent radar, and we probably wouldn't have given them the very best one to
They were
start
lucky
with.
there was no... I mean, did you have commercial airliners back then?
No, well, to a point, but nothing. There probably wouldn't have been anything flying over that.
No,
at
that's
that
what I was
time.
thinking. It's just lucky that...
Yeah, well, according to William Tomkins, who wrote a book in 2015 called Selected by Extraterrestrials, he says that 1942 is when we got the first piece.
Wow.
It started then. Do you want to tell a bit about him then?
So that,
go on,
so that would tie in with the Battle of Los Angeles.
Yeah.
So we
Yeah.
shot
So he must have
something
blown
down.
a bit off it.
That's before Roswell.
Yeah, he worked for the aerospace industry think tank, tasked with designing 1 kilometre long, just kilometre long, doesn't actually state, anti-grav spacecraft for US Navy. I can't read that.
Can't read your own writing.
UFOs. That makes sense.
I don't know what that says. Oh yeah, it says U, F and O.
We're talking about fucking UFOs. That was brilliant.
Genius. Genius.
He says he personally designed 5 spaceships and 30 support ships.
Right.
Okay.
Was one of them the black triangle by any chance? Do we
I
know?
didn't find that out.
According,
The Flying Dorito. The A-12.
it's actually Randy Kramer. Its official military name is the MB-1B, and it's known as the Black Manta. Apparently.
Oh.
He says that the US
The
fleet,
workhorse.
the US fleet of UFOs are under the control of Majestic 12.
You see, the MJ-12. I've never quite got in for that.
And he says that the US Navy, they work closely with the Nordics, who come from the Orion constellation, influence building the pyramids, and we're fighting off lizard aliens who want to enslave the human race. He says
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says that the reptiles made a pact. This is going back to our very first episode. They made a pact.
They
with
forgot the missing episode, Mike. We haven't recovered
No,
it.
this is the occult, German occult.
Oh,
It goes
right.
back to the Third Reich. He says the reptilians made a pact with the Third Reich.
Oh, the fucking... How can the Nazis make a pact with reptile men when they're all about purity?
Well, that's just the illusion of it, isn't it? Perhaps because it's true.
Power.
The reptilians made a pact with the Third Reich, giving them, quote, box full of toys in exchange for allowing Hitler to enslave the human race for them.
I want to see Goering's box of toys that he received. the cocaine-crazed transvestite. I want to see his box of toys.
You hear it before you saw it.
it's buzzing. Imagine this reptilian. He's coming down from the craft or down the road, carrying boxes of stuff, and one's just like buzzing. Photon-powered dildos and shit. His arms, one's come on, son. Brian, turn this off.
Oh, it's so powerful.
He says he worked on stolen Nazi UFO plans, stolen by US Navy spies.
Yeah, makes sense. Well, I suppose so.
Yeah, and they say they got this information from someone called Maria Orsic,
Right.
born in 1895 Vienna, and she was a medium.
Oh, right, so you've just lost my interest there.
That channeled the information from alien civilizations on how to build UFOs.
Oh, well, you just lost my interest in that.
She was a part of the Vril Society.
Yeah, who told the Nazis they were great.
Yeah. The Vril Society, founded in Germany in 1921, based on a book called The Coming Race in 1871 by Edmund Bulwer-Lytton, which details the account of subterranean master race with energy form Vril.
Yeah, she's not winning me over.
This is a novel.
I know.
And Vril in a novel can destroy like lightning or replenish life. It can either kill or do good.
Just like Bovril.
And the inner circle of the Fuel Society was part of the Vril Society. Had close ties with the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn.
Oh, Mr. Cowley.
Mr. Cowley.
Oh, thank you, Mr. Cowley. I love him. He gave me all the wonder that I have in my life right now.
The most talented anus in black magic.
I don't know that firsthand.
In this book, he claims that the moon is actually an artificial command centre for the reptiles.
I've heard that before.
Which is what St. Ike says.
St. Ike.
He said when astronauts first went to the moon, it was already occupied by 9 feet Draco reptilians who, quote, gave us the finger. So they were already stand there behind their spacecraft, apparently. We came down.
Yeah.
And the
Neil
reptiles were like,
getting
"Give us a finger."
Yeah, but
Literally.
Well, he doesn't say literally, but he said they were...
Well, yeah.
so Neil Armstrong steps down, turns around, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, sets foot on the moon, turns around... Lizard man.
Well, apparently, according to this...
Randy giving him a big green
like
middle
that
finger.
Episode of Star Trek, the original series, where Kirk fights the lizard man on the rock.
I reckon Armstrong would be better in a fight than Kirk.
Probably. He did a few wrestling moves. Did like a monkey flip. Sorry, Mike.
He says that Armstrong wasn't the first. He said that all the astronauts are Masons, and first of all they got off and they put the Mason plaque on the moon, big Mason plaque. Then went back onto the module and then did the whole first, Neil Armstrong thing. Yeah, that's what he says. He says he said the astronauts saw ancient structures on the far side of the moon. And he said that the reptilians control nearly every government on Earth, apart from a few which the Nordics influence. And the
Scandinavia
reptiles...
by any chance?
And he says the reptiles eat humans and perform blood sacrifices, and they want to enslave the human race, and they're getting stronger.
What's this guy's name again?
William Tomkins. He was 92 when he wrote his book, selected by extraterrestrials 2015. He was in 1950s. He worked on anti-grav spacecraft for the US Navy.
Allegedly.
This is what he's saying.
Well, it's a tale.
So I thought that was interesting to
Yeah,
know.
it is, yeah.
There's another
take on it.
Another take on it.
Absolutely.
Well,
Can we take a break? Do you mind?
Yeah, I need a piss and some more beer, so it's all good. I'll pause that there, gentlemen. Alright, back from the urine break, and our bladders are emptied and our cans are full. And something's been rolled.
imagine if when people are listening, 'cause we're always like, piss break.
Yeah.
Because we're so unprofessional. If they're on a train or a bus somewhere and like, they really need a piss and they're like, bastards! That's the beauty of podcasting. We do what we want. So, one of the other things, Mr. McKinnon, our intrepid hacker, one of the most important things he claims to have found was he saw a list, it was labelled extraterrestrial officers, wasn't it? And then it was a list of commanders, sergeants, people like that.
Yeah, what annoys me is he can't remember one single name. That
Yeah.
pisses me off.
You think one name would have stood out?
Yeah, but it's probably stuff like Jones.
That's the stuff you'd remember, though.
Well, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I don't know. When he was looking at it, he didn't realise.
Everyone knows someone called Jones. And there's certainly in Britain. And he's in Wales.
Well, because that's the thing. That's what we need to decide. If it's true, he saw a list that said extraterrestrial
Is
officers.
it extraterrestrial off-world officers?
I'm sure it was extraterrestrial.
I don't mind either. I can't remember.
I think it was extraterrestrial.
Maybe then, yeah. Alright, we'll go with extraterrestrial / off-world.
Because
Extraterrestrial, probably.
now, does that mean officers who are extraterrestrials,
Yeah, maybe.
or does it mean human officers who go off-world?
There was
Either or.
ship-to-ship transfers as well,
That was
wasn't
the other
there?
list. And
Yeah.
I'm not sure what that actually means, ship to ship.
It just means that,
a-
like, sort of
beam
people
me up
swapping
stuff.
over.
Okay.
So say, like, USS whatever needs has got a vacancy for a, I don't know, stores officer. Then the stores officer from USS so-and-so might go over, and it's just a transfer of who is where, effectively.
Or like a lizard barman or something.
Or a lizard barman, or a dashing commander.
Well, see, because we've got to take his word. He reckons this stuff is saved on that first original hard drive that they took.
But wouldn't you go back and look at it? That's the thing, wouldn't
They
you?
didn't know they were going to come and
Yeah, I know, but you go, fuck me, that fucking list, and you'd look at it. I'd spend hours looking at that shit.
Don't you
Just
think-
in disbelief, but I'd be soaking it in.
If he's going to make something up, though, like, it's fairly tame, really, isn't it? I saw a list. I mean, it could mean anything.
Oh yeah, that is true enough.
It could be a code word, extraterrestrial. It could be an undercut. Do you know what I mean? It could have been a joke file that somebody had saved. It, like, it's like, these are the
Department of
fuck-ups.
Defence guys just just made a list of them, called it the extraterrestrial officers list. And
Yeah, but it's also the kind of boring thing you would find in paperwork.
yeah,
I
if
would
you
like
just,
to believe this.
so would I. I love the idea. I think it's fantastic.
So what are you then? What's your money on? Alien officers or human officers who travel extraterrestrially?
A mix.
I like your style.
I think it's a bit federation-y.
Ooh,
I think the majority of them are humans, but in terms of like the technology, I think if there was like we had Officer Snidey from their little sketch earlier. If there was a grey and we got the technology for that propulsion system from the greys, then I like to think that he might be the sort of engineering guy.
Okay.
Because he would know, but he'd have like a human with him.
He'd enjoy such earthly things as pool and
Yes.
we'd show him things like that, like and
Yeah, I mean, it would be
kebabs.
in the show. It would be like a bit of a sort of an odd couple going on.
Yeah.
You'd have a
But
brand.
I mean, even if it's genuinely real, like if they're all living together and surely we're going to exchange culture with them as well.
Yeah.
So there will be maybe a grey who suddenly finds his extra senses make him really fucking good at playing pool.
Yeah.
You might enjoy that.
Or his telepathy makes him ideal at chatting to Earth women, even though he's a
He
little
has no
sexist
genital.
dude.
Yeah.
But he's got long fingers.
Yeah.
But because of his telepathy, he's up there on the Kardashian scale.
It's basically every sci-fi. It's Star Trek. It's all of those, isn't it? That's what we want, don't we? What
Yeah,
we're
we do.
imagining. Well, I don't know if I actually want it to be true.
Oh, I
It's
do,
getting
yeah,
maybe
I
a bit
do.
too much for my brain.
I do, yeah.
If it is true, fucking hell, can you imagine us three walking into a fucking bar full of aliens? God, can we interview you for our podcast?
You just start ranting about the Las Vegas shooting again. Me and
Move to
Mike will be trying to calm you down. You be having a go at really. Corner. You
Sounded
think
some weird alien. But no, guys, that's its anus.
I'm screaming into its anus. There was 2 shooters at least.
At which point my attention distracted by a green woman at the bar.
Exactly. But so,
And you know,
how did we get there?
I don't know.
Gary.
Extraterrestrial officers.
there you go.
Boom. I think it's a bit of both.
Yeah. I'd like to think if that's okay, as long as it's all friendly and it is like the Federation,
Yeah,
it's all good.
yeah, it's all like Worf, security officer.
Hey.
Worst security officer in the world, gets his ass kicked every time he fights someone, but that's the point. He's a security officer. It's a Klingon. He knows what he's on about.
Even if he has got a head like a fanny.
Yeah. He was alright when he had that silver thing. Don't know what it meant, but it looked cool.
You
See,
wouldn't say that.
Physical deformities don't stop me getting a head.
You wouldn't say that to his face or his fanny. No.
Or his sharp
But
beard.
like you said, though, he always got beat up. So
He
no,
did.
He was cool.
But-
Oh, did you see in the news that his son died?
Oh man.
Well, the
No.
actor who played his son.
Oh yeah, I did actually. Yeah.
I guess it's probably sad because he must be younger than. He's not a child anymore.
No.
It was a long time ago. It's not that sad.
I can't remember his name.
That won't stop the Facebook posts. Heartbroken.
I'm distraught. Don't know what to do.
Anyway, I'm ranting. So, Gary found the list, and the list of ship-to-ship transfers and
Yep.
names of ships, which again, Mike, he claims he can't remember.
Yeah, you'd think you'd remember a ship's name.
Especially Mr. Autistic. Come on. Sorry, am I misunderstanding how autism works?
No, I expect everybody to say. Like, you I like the fact that
Rain Man!
Exactly, Rain Man, yeah. Oh, Rain Man can memorise cars. Surely he can memorise the name of a ship.
Not even one name,
But
Gary!
yeah, but come on, they would have named these ships
To be
cool
fair-
stuff, wouldn't you?
To be fair, I've just realised Gary did have 11 years of sort of psychological trauma in the meantime, and probably a lot of drugs, probably a lot of alcohol. There's a lot of shit I can't remember.
That's true.
A hell of a lot of shit. So yeah, I'll give him a pass on the not remembering it. As fun as it is to take the piss, but come on.
I just think if you know, surely there's one ship up there that's got a really fucking cool name. I mean, like, they tend to name warships.
What, like Solar Warden?
Yeah, Solar Warden for a start. But alright, the Americans aren't too hot on cool names. They like to name things after presidents. But our warships have some great fucking names. We've had Victory, Dreadnought, Black Prince.
Fuck yeah.
You know, Victorious, shit like that. And you think, oh,
Cannibal Holocaust.
HMS Cannibal Holocaust. That's what I want to see. Yeah. Oh no, it's the Cannibal Holocaust. And you know, the ship hose and the nukes you.
Yeah, and it's just got a big skull on the front.
Yeah, that's metal as fuck. I like to
It's
think.
fucking metal.
I like to think that one of these Solar Warden ships has got a big fuck off skull on the front of it.
Maybe it's that skull-shaped asteroid.
It's come some kind of battering ram. Yeah, that'd be sweet. That would be sweet.
Fuck yeah.
And very metal. And they play the Black Album into space, even though no one can hear it. They play it.
I heard something.
Of course they can hear it.
You can't hear nothing in space.
You can't when you're in space, but you can
Yeah, the
detect
speed.
it.
Yeah, we're going to send it to the opposition ship, playing into Sandman as that skull crashes into their ship.
That's it, they pick it up.
Yeah.
I did hear today in one of the bloody things that was playing in the background because YouTube kept going was that war in space would be disastrous because any explosion, every single tiny particle of the thing that explodes, the spaceship, let's say, like your average Star Trek battle, an X-wing blows up. Every single particle of that is just going to keep going, isn't it? Forever?
Yeah.
And eventually that would just litter and like it would be. War in space would fucking suck for space.
Yeah, if we literally had a war well, fuck me, like within the moons, 300 something thousand miles away from the moon.
Yeah.
If we had a war that far out, in Solar Warden, fuck me, we'd see it burn up in the atmosphere. We'd see it. We'd be able to see it. These ships are as big as they are.
Well, think about that then. So every Star Trek dogfight you've seen in space, the planet below.
And whatever everything comes down.
Yeah. Well,
it's going to go somewhere.
So every X-wing and TIE fighter you've ever seen explode every single piece of it is either still floating outwards in the vastness of space for eternity forever, or it's been caught up in the orbit atmosphere of a planet and either burnt up or actually rained down.
Yeah, if it's
on
big
the
enough,
planet
it'll just
below.
keep raining down on it.
Those massive star destroyers. That's like an asteroid.
Actually, Star Trek Into Darkness, when the you seen that movie?
I don't think I've seen that one.
Oh, it's actually right. Benedict Cumberbatch's the bad guy. But one of the, I'm not sure if it's the Enterprise or some Federation ship, literally just plummets straight through the atmosphere.
Oh fuck.
And just goes through a city, because these things are massive. Well, 2 football pitches long in this case. How big is the fucking one of the Star Trek ships? I have no idea. But it's just ploughing through a city before it stops.
It's that idea really struck me. It's kind of a stoner thing, isn't it, to sit there and go, whoa. I just never thought about it. And because Star Wars is on my mind, just every X-Wing, just that explosion. So every single fucking particle is just going to keep going for it. Like, that's really bad for space, isn't it? So space wars.
Space is pretty big.
Yeah, but
it is. There is infinite space, but there's still gonna be a lot of
well,
shit.
imagine then. All right, then you're a ship. You're in a dogfight. One of your ships blows up. Just one tiny fleck apparently can hit something in space, and it's like traveling so fast.
Yeah.
Ba-dong, so then you get fucking taken down by the debris, the tiny fleck pieces. It's bad. War in space will suck.
One day you'd be flying along in your X-Wing, and a tiny little fleck of metal from a TIE fighter you'd shot down 20 years ago is all of a sudden going to wink it straight at your cockpit and shoot your head out.
Could do, yeah.
That is karmic on a galactic level. That's awesome.
Well, haven't they got deflector shields? In Star Trek they have, haven't they?
Not in Star Wars so much. Everything.
They do have shields in Star Wars, yeah, but little X-Wings don't have them, I don't think. I don't know, maybe I'm being dumb.
We'll see about the X-Wing.
Nerds will be going mad now. I did write in my book, you know I said earlier, it should be called, it's Solar Warden sounds like episode 9 Solar Warden. I did then write, actually, it should be called Star Wars episode 9 Revenge of the Fanboy, or Attack of the SJW, or episode 9 Nerd Rage, because fuck me, man. Anyway, I'm don't let me do Star Wars.
No, we're not going to Star Wars. We've been there once.
That was an interesting. I enjoyed the X-wing explosion discussion.
Thing is, though,
that's why you come here.
If you're a pilot in space and you're flying an X-wing or a TIE fighter, right? There's no hope of ejection, is there? You don't eject.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You either land back somewhere safe.
If you just get blown up, you're dead. That's
Have
it.
you got a helmet on and a suit?
No, the X-wing pilots
Their
haven't.
face is exposed.
Yeah.
Then you can't.
The TIE fighter guys might stand a bit more of a chance. They say their wing gets blown off, they might survive a bit. But if that X-wing goes up, it's all going up. I mean,
yeah, you're dead, isn't you?
yeah, you got no chance of getting out. That's impressive. I'd be like, well, why don't you give me a fucking astronaut suit, you bastards? So if I can eject, you maybe just float around a bit. I mean, yeah, you might end up on the windshield of another fighter, but you got a chance, haven't you?
Or you get a little tiny piece of debris straight through the heart.
You got a bit more of a chance, don't you?
If you've got a jetpack.
You got a jetpack on,
listen,
you power your way out.
Every time you take that
Junior
X-wing,
Birdman the hell out of there!
Robbie
Robbie Rocket Pants! Robbie Rocket Pants, you ran out of the way. Junior Birdman, you hell. Well, fuck it, you know.
There's 2 problems with that.
Every time you take your X-wing out, you've got to accept into space. You have to expect that there is a very big possibility you won't come back, because unless you land that X-wing somewhere safe for you to get out of, i.e. back on the ship you took off from, or on a planet with an atmosphere you can survive, unless those 2 things happen, and there's a lot of other things that can happen, you're going to die. And it happens to X-wing, you're fucked. If your little droid starts going,
server error, 404, error 404, not found.
And he just ejects himself. D4! Oh! You're adrift. Your X-wing doesn't work. It can't go into hyperdrive without an astro mech. Oh God. I have a girlfriend. It's okay to talk about these things. I think. But basically you got to take that every time. So this does pertain to the subject, Solar Warden, space pilots. It's fucking risky business. It's got to be, isn't it? And we use the Star Wars as an example, just because that's what it's a visual reference we can all... Although people say, am I right, that explosions wouldn't happen in space the way they do in Star Wars? Beautiful, big fireball explosions.
there's got to be oxygen in the crafts, hasn't there? So
yeah, that.
so you would get some
But
ignition.
you wouldn't hear anything.
No, you wouldn't hear anything. You wouldn't have the TIE fighter noise or the laser noise. It'd be eerily silent.
Whoa, that's creepy.
Unless you had
fuck.
unless you had a radio antenna that could detect it.
Think about that, the intense dogfight in
You'll be able to-
space,
yeah.
and it's utterly silent.
Yeah.
Oh, apart from your radio, the screams
You-
of your fellow...
Your mate's getting shot up and exploding.
Ah! And it will really resonate because it is silent, there's no engine noise
Yeah.
or anything. But
You'd look to your left and see your mate explode and just hear his dying scream, but not hear
You'd
anything
hear
else.
your engine though, wouldn't you?
From inside the...
Yeah.
Yeah, you would, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's true. And your little droid, you'd hear him. But yeah, I suppose I put a bit too much thought into space fights. It's just something that you accept that it just looks cool because we've seen it, but you
Yeah.
actually think of the reality of, or even not just space fighting, just flying and just, you know, it's a bit like being a pilot on Earth, but you're in space. You know, your job's to go out on scouting missions, cargo, stuff like that.
Shooting down reptilians.
Well, you know, even without that, it's still fucking risky business, isn't
Yeah.
it? It's still like
It's hostile out there, man.
fucking heavy shit.
Alright, I've got another quote anyway, to bring us back slightly on topic.
Okay.
From the Reagan diaries.
Oh yeah.
Entry on the June the 11th, 1985. So at this point, Solar Warden has technically been up there for 5 years, and Reagan doesn't seem to know about it, which I suppose
course
makes
not.
sense.
Yeah.
He's only the fucking president.
I mean, this is like a level above, isn't it?
Oh yeah.
Of course.
Quote, lunch with the top 5 space scientists. It was fascinating. Space truly is the last frontier, and some of the developments that are in astronomy, etc., are like science fiction, except they are real. I learned that our shuttle capacity is such that we can orbit 300 people. Now, the space shuttle holds 8 people maximum, and only 5 were ever built for spaceflight.
So it's not 300, is
That's
it?
not 300.
So, was Mr. Reagan confused? Because he's quite a silly, wasn't he? A bit of a silly man.
No.
He was senile.
Well,
that's
in
what I'm
later,
saying.
Alzheimer's.
in later years, 85.
Do we know when it kicked in?
Yeah, in his second term.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Really?
Between 84 to 88, yeah.
Oh motherfucker!
He started to go really downhill at the end, and they like basically ushered him behind the scenes, like.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall. That's a terrible impression, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, he could have been completely... They could have been fucking with him as well. I mean, yes, Mr. President. We got ships, we can carry 300 people to space. And
Maybe they just like because they NASA have a huge budget, and maybe they were doing other stuff, and he's like, "Well, so many people we can take to space? 300? Yeah, 300 by now."
Of course,
Like,
we can, President.
yeah, no problem. Yeah,
For you, Ronnie, anything.
yeah.
They idolise the Republicans, don't they?
Oh, they love him.
Oh,
What?
Ronald
'Cause he went-
Reagan is the god to Republicans.
Well, because he went mental and never got voted out.
Yeah, pretty much.
So he wins by default, like.
Well, he was going to get. Didn't he have something like Nixon as well? Some kind of scandal. He had some kind of scandal.
Oh, yeah, the Iran-Contra.
Yeah, and that was going to bring him down anyway. So
Yeah, but then Ollie North took the form. Well, he didn't take the form because he shredded all the documents. The secretary shredded all the
I'm
documents.
sorry, but
Bloody document.
the US government since the First World War, fuck me, the amount of war crimes and shit each one has committed. Do you know what I mean?
Thanks to our viewers and listeners in America.
It's not their fault, is it?
No, it's not their fault. You know, we're
Unless,
just as bad. We're just as bad. You're probably catching us up if anything.
Yeah, we were worse than you.
Yeah.
Back in the 19th century, look what we did to fucking India.
Would you like to hear about some secret planes?
Sorry.
Yeah, man, give us some secret planes.
Okay, so we briefly mentioned it earlier. The Flying Dorito.
Flying Dorito, the Black Manta.
It's
Not the Black Mamba, that's a dildo.
And it's an A12 Avenger 2, literally shaped like a Dorito for science reasons that I'm not going to pretend to understand.
Makes sense.
They're very fast. It was a $57 billion jet
Wow.
program, which was then scrapped by Dick Cheney.
Wow.
Where did this money go? Which was the gist of the lecture I watched. The whole reason the guy claimed to be trying to expose these secret black budget air defence type programs is because he believes we as citizens, or they in America, should be like, hey buddy, Where did that 57 billion go?
Yeah, that's got a big chunk of cash in it. Let's face it.
Wasn't it the day before 9/11
Ah, yes.
that the Pentagon?
We lost a lot of money. We don't know where we put it.
Yeah, 2 billion.
Oh, look out for that plane!
And then nobody gave a shit.
2 billion. Yeah, it was a massive hole, wasn't it? And then
So
that plane crashed into where they kept all the financial records. Which isn't, not to take anything away from the tragedy, just seemed kind of coincidental.
Very dodgy. But here's some factual information. In the Detroit Free Press, said in 1988, because this all seems to be kicking off around in the 80s and things.
I think that's because we had the Star Wars program itself, was it? Reagan's defense shield.
They actually got hold of some figures, and the Detroit Free Press printed in 1988 that the military black budget was 35 billion more than the entire education budget in the country for that year, right? And there's a guy called Thomas Emile who's a Pentagon missile expert with security clearances high enough to know about some black programs. He said the military has 3 basic reasons for having black budgets. Number 1, you're doing something that should genuinely be secret.
Fair enough.
Number 2, you're doing something so damn stupid, this is a quote, that you don't want anyone to know about it.
Fair enough. Also fair enough.
And 3, you want to rip the money bag open and get out a shovel because there is no accountability whatsoever.
That's the key, no accountability.
And I have a quote that you might like about this then, Mike, from Senator J.W. Fulbright in 1970 said, to that point, "The greatest threat to American national security is the American military establishment and the no-holds-barred type of logic it uses to justify its zillion-dollar existence."
Same as Eisenhower, what he said, warning about
beware the military-industrial complex. His last words upon leaving office.
So they're either just feasting off of this black budget, and what are they doing with it? Are they funding
it's a feeding frenzy?
Secret space program?
And it all goes to contractors who justify their high wages and overcharge on contracts and deliver them late.
We have it in the US Army. I read a story where we ordered like millions and millions of pounds worth of equipment. It was useless.
Yeah,
it didn't fit with our other equipment or something.
Something like that, yeah. You can put it down to my experience as the British Army switched to buying boots made in Spain for a lot more money than it would have cost them to produce them in the UK. It was like a multi-year deal, and they all fell apart within 3 months. And then we had to cancel the contract, paying them more.
Jesus.
And then get another manufacturer in from the UK to just make the boots that we'd always had before that was perfectly fine.
You think if all these fucking people in charge,
that's just
they
boots.
treated the public money like their own fucking money, do you know what I mean? Then we wouldn't be in the shit we're in now.
That's it.
It's public money. They get into power and they're like, right, who wants it? Yeah, Bob, I'll throw you a bit here. Phil wants some of this.
Even that Pentagon thing we discussed. He gave it to his mate Bruce Bigelow. The senator gave them, I can't remember the senator's name, but he gave it to his mate Bruce Bigelow. Harry Reid. I'll always remember the name Bruce Bigelow. Here's $20 million. Go and look at UFOs. Well, how much of that money did you spend on looking at UFOs, and then was you just go, oh, you know what, I think I'll take $3 million of that.
Yeah, I've got my eyes on a new house in the Hollywood Hills.
That's how it works. There's billions of it. So basically NASA, so the theory goes that NASA is a public smokescreen. They're going to space the old-fashioned way, and we're all watching along going, yay, rocket propulsion, go on.
We're secretly going, we've got all this special technology.
Yes, Solar Warden is the real space program now. Do you want to hear a bit about how some technology, how some of these... Have you ever heard of something? I thought this was pretty cool. Something called the Rockwell Star Raker.
No, but it sounds cool as fuck.
Yeah. It's basically...
Star Raker! That's the name of Solar Warden's first album, Star Raker.
Picture like the shuttle, but huge with a giant... I've got some stats. A 310-foot wingspan.
Wow.
Could carry a cargo of 200,000 pounds. I even have some real tech stuff here. 10 high bypass turbofan ramjets, 3 times rocket, some numbers, engines. In 1979, apparently this thing was, there were blueprints and designs for it, and it would basically be a heavy lift orbital launch vehicle which would release smaller things, and like this could exist. People have seen drawings. So
Starraker!
So, also, and these kind of Dorito-shaped planes we mentioned, which
Black Manta.
may account for a lot of UFO sightings and possibly the video things like that we were watching the other week that the Pentagon released. Apparently, the way these things are working is, and this is from a guy called Mark T. Constantine, who is an Aerojet Tech, that's a company, systems division.
They need to recruit him for exercising demons.
Yeah, Constantine. He said this in 1985. The Air Turbo Ramjet, ATR, is a combined cycle air-breathing engine which we commonly refer to as cold turbine technology. By combining the rocket engine and air-breathing technologies, the ATR can achieve static thrust-to-weight capability in excess of that available from our most advanced turbojet and turbofan engines. The ATR continues to produce thrust as Mach number increases, which enables acceleration to more optimal cruise altitudes of 90,000 to 120,000 feet at Mach 5.
Fucking hell, that's immense. Fighters, the modern jet fighter goes at Mach 2.
Right, so these could be right up there. Now, this is some freaky shit where what we might have got, the Nazis, the real society might have got from the aliens. That's a big word. Magnetohydrodynamic drive.
Fuck.
Or MHD.
Thank God for that.
And this is apparently the most top secret US sort of aviation program. It's called Snowbird, apparently. Now,
kind of cool.
Magnetohydrodynamic drive, MHD, utilizes electric and magnetic fields, no moving parts.
Wow.
So its propulsion system for this snowboard speeds above Mach 20. It's not an engine, it's a drive system.
That goes back to our mate
right.
from Lockheed Martin who said no chemical propulsion, we need something different.
Apparently, these planes go so fast, so quickly, so suddenly they cause airquakes.
Wow.
Which are basically giant, huge sonic booms, and if you're like some other plane who happens to be around one, you're going to feel some fucking serious turbulence, I think.
Whoa.
And I might have found the name of the thing you were just, instead of Black Mamba,
Black Manta.
it's Black Star.
Oh, maybe then. That's what Randy Kramer calls it, a Black Manta. We'll come to Randy Kramer later on.
And they're basically planes dropped from the belly of larger ones above the atmosphere. So there's big planes above the atmosphere, and they could drop little ones.
Like in Aliens, like a dropship.
Well, yeah, I guess so.
Express elevator to hell, going down.
I got a bad feeling about this job.
Yeah, you always say that, Frost.
Oh look, I've got in my notes here. Nordics inspired Nazis to build their anti-gravity, and then I stopped writing.
Now you see, and Nordics inspired the Nazis to build stuff. I can see that.
That's it. It's just this Maria Orsic in 1895 when she was born. She channeled it, didn't she, for the Nazis?
No.
That's what this guy was saying.
But I have
William
a question.
Tomkins.
Sorry to interrupt. I have a question for Ben, who's a you admit, military geek.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, that's me.
Why is the stuff that Gary found, and why whenever people talk about Solar Warden, why is it the Navy that's involved, not the Air Force?
Well, actually, it's the US. It's quite complicated because well, it's not so complicated. Basically, the US Air Force back in the day, from 45 onwards, was seen as the guardians of the nuclear program. They had the bombers to deliver the bombs, etc., etc. So they were the only ones who could deliver it.
They all used to be under one umbrella, didn't they, before the Second World War?
There was the Army Air Force.
But then they went separate, I think, didn't they?
Yeah, they did in sort of 1950 something maybe. And so it became the US Air Force. So it was seen they had the missiles and they had the all the underground silos, the Air Force. But then they managed to put missiles on submarines.
Oh.
And it was, hang on, we could have these massive land-based silos, but once the Russians know where they are, because they've got satellite technology, same as we have, they can take them out in their first strike. But you put a missile on a submarine and put it under the sea, no one knows where it is.
Or on a spaceship.
Or on a spaceship. So, so the Navy basically took over responsibility from the Air Force of the nuclear, and even though the Air Force still have nuclear bombs and missiles, land-based silos, the Navy is seen as the
Navy,
strike force.
The big bollocks.
The Navy got the big balls. They got the nuclear subs.
Right.
they can hide them anywhere. There could be a nuclear sub set off the coast of Wales for all we know.
They got aircraft carriers, aren't they?
They could deliver nuclear bombs from aircraft carriers, yeah, but if you've got a submarine set off the coast of somewhere that don't even know it's there, one strike, boom, there's Baghdad, it's gone.
So it might make sense then that the Navy are in charge of our intergalactic.
Yeah. And that's the same with us as well, but our Air Force probably can't even deliver a nuclear bomb anymore. It's all Royal Navy, Trident submarines.
Well, here's a question for you. Do you think they're up there fighting people, or do you think they're just keeping an eye out? Patrolling?
See, I've been thinking about this, and we'll get on to a bit of Randy Kramer later on.
Where are the bits of X-Wing raining down upon us?
Where are the casualty lists? I mean, if it's a war, people tend to die, and surely if
Solar Warden...
there's somewhere there's going to be a grieving family. They can't all be people with no families.
What if they're bred in labs?
Yeah.
Oh, that brings another thing, doesn't it?
Well, the Nazis tried to literally have baby farms, didn't they? And they did have baby farms.
Something was.
Oh, the Bird from Aber was part of it.
So why don't you think the Solar Warden probably have like the best Air Force pilots shagging the best female Air Force?
That doesn't always work, though, does it?
Well, they'll make it work. Or they'll artificially, they'll bloody inseminate or something like that.
Yeah, I mean,
They're
you can
probably
say. I mean,
created on purpose because you maybe, like Mr. Kramer hinted at, maybe your body needs to be a certain to be able to survive hyperspace and things like that, and space jumps and space bridges and.
Should we get into Kramer now then, if we mention a few?
You'd love to get into Kramer, bit of super soldier action.
Or Captain, I couldn't figure it was Captain Keys or Captain K. I heard both for Randy Kramer. That's his alias.
It's in Captain Key's Halo.
Captain Keys is in Halo, and when he first came on the scene, he was referred to as Captain Keys, and now he's Captain K. And straight away I thought, well, Captain Key, because I've heard, I mean, this guy's been going since about 2005, 2006 spouting this. I heard about him, well, you spouted it.
He does spout.
I heard about it probably about 5 years ago. So, and when I first heard about it, the story was incredibly vague.
Right.
And it seems to have taken on a lot of detail in the last sort of 5 or 6 years.
The memory blocks of coming off.
As everything does.
Yeah.
I heard you talking about memory blocks and, you know, oh God.
But it was very vague, and all of a sudden it's got very detailed. Now, Captain, let's just call him Randy, alright? Which is another thing that bugs me, in a way. Because, you know, apparently, according to Mr. Kramer, he was grown in a petri dish. He was genetically modified to be a superior human being. Captain America in space, effectively. You seen the Captain America films, Mike?
I haven't, but I'm thinking 40k in Space Marines.
Not quite that good, but yeah, it's
just genetically.
He can heal quicker. He's a little bit faster, a little bit
bit
stronger, a
faster,
little bit smarter.
stronger, yeah.
You know. But
I heard Mr. Kramer a direct.
Like the $1 Million Man.
No, without the robotics.
Yeah.
But I heard Mr. Kramer say to that thing you sent me to listen to, Ben. Listen to it on the way here. An interview with Mr. Kramer. He was claiming that his powers respond, well, his abilities, sorry, not powers. They respond to the environment around him. So if 3 people attack him, he has the appropriate strength and skills to deal with 3 people.
That's convenient.
Yeah, if 20 people attack him, he has the appropriate speed, strength, and skills to defend 20. It's
extremely
all
appropriate.
Responds to the situation he's in, which might explain why he can't demonstrate.
Because I say, stick him in UFC.
Oh yeah.
You know, prove it. Go on, Randy, prove it. Step into a UFC ring. Fight. I don't know any UFC fighters apart from Conor McGregor because I don't know much about it.
Me neither.
Fight him. He's meant to be good.
Pay a bunch of youths to mug him.
I literally heard him say. Yeah, I heard him say on the radio today. I've never lost a fight, which I thought. I don't know what he looks like, but I thought, well, that's brave because now the challenge is on. For any one of us just to sneak up on him at some convention or something, yeah, and just pound him like sneak attack, obviously, because I'm not hard. So I'll have to hit him over the head.
Crowbar to the knee.
There is
Yeah.
that
And if he
risk.
senses that coming, snaps my wrist, and
Yeah.
then hits me in the face with the crowbar.
That's the risk.
That's the risk.
There is
It's
a
worth
risk
it to
severe
find out
risk.
if this is fucking
That's
sure.
why I said you pay the youths to do it.
Uh,
I want to be one removed from the.
Yeah,
You're
little
only filming
scally.
it. You're only
Come
filming it. I see where you're coming from.
I'll give you a 10 bag and I'll let you touch my girlfriend's boob.
Go beat that guy up.
Go and fucking smash that guy's skull.
I'll just tell him that he's got a 10 bag and they'll go money.
10 bag on an iPhone 7. Get in there.
And he said your tracksuit shit. Oh, fucking kill him, bro.
And he fucked your mum. He's getting wound up. They love that shit. But yeah, so that's the thing. That's why I say stick him in UFC.
Yeah, that is a perfect way to find out if this is all horse shit or not. Let's start a crowdfunding. Okay, listeners, let's gather enough money together so that we can convince a promoter of paid fights to put this on and to wave a significant 7-figure sum in front of Mr. Kramer.
Yeah,
And
definitely.
say, come on, put your fucking money where your mouth is. You've got. But I know what he'll say. I've been de-skilled, Dave, because he talks about how he's remembering all this shit now, and he couldn't remember it back in the day because they put such good memory blocks in place, and he's learned to.
But he also says he's never lost a fucking fight, which suggests to me he's had a fight on Earth and not lost it.
Oh, he's
And
full
that
of
might have
shit.
unblocked some memory.
Yeah.
Who knows? Some bloke started him in a bar and he just
Maybe-
literally kicked the shit out of him, and then something unblocked his memory. That's what I see.
He
that.
did say the first time he used his powers and beat up a load of people, he locked himself in his room for 3 days because he was so upset by
That's right.
what he was capable
We
of. He
should-
didn't understand, man.
We should start at the very beginning with Mr. Kramer's story.
Yeah,
because we have skipped ahead a little bit. But basically, so we have mentioned he was literally grown in a petri dish. An embryo was implanted into his biological mother. Elements were taken from mother and father and then combined with the enhanced DNA. The embryo was put into his mother.
And then they were mashed together with a whisk.
Yes,
Oh,
and an electric blender. and at 4 years old, he began his training in the secret space program through a project called Project Moonshadow, which that's not a bad album name. Go with that. We could maybe release an experimental album with that one for Solar Warden. Moonshadow. Bit of a, it could be like our Dark Side of the Moon.
No, that sounds like our shit period in the late 80s when no one's interested.
Prog rock period.
Yeah, definitely. Or maybe a disco album.
We did a whole themed album.
Yeah, it was about moon children. Oh no, Iron Maiden did that. Well, what album is it where it's called Moonchild is the opening
Then we
track?
toured with
Wasn't
Dream
it-
Theatre in the 80s.
What's that? Oh, Magnum.
I'm a
Yeah.
bad Iron Maiden fan, I can't think the name of that album.
Saxon.
Oh, definitely has to be a Saxon.
It's the one with Can I Play With Madness on it.
Oh, fucking hell. It's all of their better periods, anyway.
I quite like it. It does. The first sounds on the album are what I think is a
See,
synthesizer.
I don't like Can I Play With Madness as a song, and it kind of puts me off the album because...
I like it lyrically. It's quite.
Yeah,
Give me the strength to hold my head up, spit back in their face.
There's a
Play
good...
with
Sorry,
madness.
you can't say that. You can't criticise Kurt Cobain and then say
I fucking
them lyrics.
can. I fucking did. Bruce flies a plane, doesn't put shotguns in his mouth, and fucking needles in his arm.
Unless he pilots suicides in the next couple of years.
Hey, you never know. If the next album tanks.
But I'll continue telling you the tale of the Ballad of Randy.
Oh God, ballad
As
of.
I'm going to call it. He was one of 300 boys and girls who were covertly drafted. Girls made up about 20 to 25% of that.
Do they get the same strength boosts and everything?
I presume so, but maybe they're just putting more sort of administrative.
Oh,
roles.
you
I don't.
sexist.
No, because it just seems strange that maybe girls aren't more genetically compatible. I don't know. There's only male space marines in 40k.
You're putting your own aspersions onto that, I think.
I'm not. No, I just don't know why there's only 20 to 25% of girls. I don't know.
It's men rule. Sorry, girls.
Because
but-
girls suck.
Good ones. Sorry, I sounded literally like that guy from Family Guy then, because I went giggity. Alright. Sorry.
But he recalls through his childhood, so his training starts at like the age of 3 to 4 years old. He recalls during his childhood he would be taken from his bed at night. Even though he'd be gone for days or even weeks, he'd return to his bed because they've got time travel too.
Space pedos.
Again.
Well, space pedos, isn't it?
It's always the space
Abducting
pedos.
kids. Put him in a secret space program.
Sacrificing him.
So when he turned 17, so he's gone through all this training, and they've always sort of dropped him back off, literally like just after he was taken, so no one suspects he's gone. And I assume that's how he explains time travel works. He would wake up as if though no time had passed, he just had a really long dream. And he said this in this interview, like he'd be like sat at the breakfast table, and he'd be like, "Oh, I just had this really weird dream about being trained to fire guns and hand-to-hand combat on Mars," and his parents would look at him like a little bit concerned because he was such a good student and never had any emotional troubles. They just let it pass. He just thought he was having weird dreams.
Did he eat a lot of cheese?
I've never had weird dreams of eating cheese, Mike.
You know how I said earlier I'm all ears?
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck this guy. No, I'm sorry.
When he turned 17 in 1987, he was, it says here, involuntarily recruited, but he's been grown from birth, I suppose. Well, I suppose he's
Of course he's involuntary.
yeah, involuntary, yeah.
We're all
yeah.
here involuntary.
None of us asked to be born.
I'm quite glad I was.
Oh, I am now.
Yeah.
But, you know,
I'd rather still be living a shit existence than none.
there have been times where I've honestly thought, like, why was I born? But, no, things are good right now.
Anyway, he was recruited to become part of the Mars Defence Force, the MDF, which still sounds like shit wood you get from B&Q for home improvement.
Is that what the ships are made of? Fuck.
I hope not. Then we should have been conquered a long time ago. And to protect 5 human settlements, civilian settlements, already in existence on Mars.
Get the Mars!
So it is already a dump.
Yeah, there's 5 settlements on there. Yeah, so it's
There's probably a fucking old tyre mound already.
burning.
If there's humans there, there's trash.
Yeah.
There's waste.
Yeah.
There has to be. Where does the poo go on Mars if...
Well, you get the feeling that like what he describes, when there's like sort of the indigenous races of Mars who we kind of skirmished against but never had a full-blown war.
I like Ghosts of Mars.
A bit like it. Well, no, because they were like possessed, weren't they? In Ghosts of
yeah.
Mars. But it's like it's almost a bit Total Recall because there's like ancient races on Mars, and the air is breathable up there, by the way, as well.
Oh, is it now?
NASA lie, yeah, the air is thin but breathable.
Is there a 3-titted woman on Mars?
There is not. No, well, maybe because there's reptilian and insectoid indigenous races.
Oh, we don't want
I
that.
couldn't do an insectoid woman. I don't think I'd draw the line there.
Oh, imagine the mandibles.
Oh, God.
The hacking.
A reptilian
Oh.
woman?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Depends how scaly and
Yeah.
dry they were.
It depends.
I never shower them down and do it in the shower.
But there's a number of factors. But
You just have to secrete over their egg pouch.
Someone's been watching fucking David Attenborough. The male reptilian
I'm like
secretes over the female's egg pouch.
Oh, has anyone ever read Naked Lunch?
No.
Like,
who's that by?
it's by William S. Burroughs. It's basically just one mad heroin trip.
Oh, awesome.
And he goes on about these creatures that sort of secrete and jizz over you and stuff. It's totally mental.
Well,
Is it fucking mental?
what sex are these creatures?
I think they're called mugwumps or something. Or
Are they male or female?
You fucking
just thinking about it.
You're gonna be getting jizzed over by one over right now, can you? You don't know.
There is a film on YouTube, I think. They did a film of it in the 80s.
Naked Lunch. Okay, I won't look out for it.
And it's basically like David Lynch.
David Lynch Bukaki.
Basically.
Oh, sounds terrible. Sounds terrible.
But you got these like typewriters that are alive and they secrete cum over your fingers while you're typing and shit. It's weird.
I just love your movie recommendations, Mike.
It's a famous book in the 60s.
If anyone hasn't seen Naked Lunch, there's my review of it. Let's get back
Tell
to
you what, listener, do me a favour. You fucking watch it and let me know what it's like.
At that point, you can. I'll put a shameless plug in because you can follow us on Facebook.
Woo!
Cutting through the ball in the post-truth apocalypse, and on Twitter at Apocalypse Ball. And if you we're still looking for 100 likes on Facebook, you can win a T-shirt and an 80s Top Gun LCD game. Woo! Which we will send to you free of charge.
We will.
If we draw your name at the hat, obviously.
Yeah, obviously. So,
yeah, like the page, leave a review.
Thank you. Yeah, say something nice. Leave a positive review.
Especially if you're in California.
California. So, Mr. Kramer, how much more of his story have we got? Because he claims a lot of things.
He does.
If what you've heard already is not fucking fantastical enough, what else has he been up to?
Well, the programme wasn't sponsored by any government or governmental agency, but by an international group composed of the United States, Germany, Russia and China. I'm presuming the countries you already heard, the UK and Australia in there as well, weren't they? Even though these countries were not getting along very well on Earth, unbeknownst to the public, they secretly joined together to work on the SSP and form the Mars Defence Force. Kramer became a captain in the US Marine Corps in this programme and was given top secret clearance. Now, one of his defences as to why he's not lying is that he's saying, well, I'm in America, apparently it's, according to Randy Kramer, it's a very militaristic society, and making impersonations of military officers is really not allowed and very highly frowned upon, to say the least. And so he's saying, well, if I'm lying, I'm impersonating a military officer and I'd get a lot more shit and I can be prosecuted for that. Mm-hmm. Now, my response to that is that all three of us could claim that we serve with the British Special Space Regiment.
We do.
Which we may or may not do. And because at the end of the day, he's pretending to belong to a fictional organisation, the same as we would be.
There is that.
So he can't be prosecuted for it because it doesn't exist. So...
Or it exists.
Or it exists, and for some reason they've given him a free
Can't
pass.
block
I heard him claiming today, this evening, on the way here, that...
Oh, because is he the public
he's
relations
the public,
officer now?
They literally asked him to be the public relations officer. He has permission to remove his memory blocks and to... and the interviewer asked him, well, if there's hundreds, thousands of people in this program, how come you're the only one? And he says, well, I'm not, and other people come to me asking me how to break the memory blocks, and other mentally ill people go to him and sorry, allegedly.
Alleged mentally ill people.
Allegedly mentally ill. No, I think this guy's, I don't know. He should be writing comic books.
He's fucking too right. He's a great story.
I heard him talking, Mike, today about how the soul, I'm paraphrasing, but like your soul could be sort of liquefied into a sort of phasmatic, tangible substance that can be pulled out of you and then hypodermically injected into another body.
A clone body.
Wow. That sounds like a Black Mirror episode.
The soul can be transferred in that way.
And that means, so because he was born in the, what did he say? In the 80s.
He's an 80-year-old man.
He's an 80-year-old man
he claims.
In a 45-year-old's body, because they basically went back in time, they sucked his soul out of his 80-year-old, he'd done 20 years, so he's probably 40-something, put him back into his, 4-year-old body, which they cloned, put his soul into that.
That's well fucked up.
So he's now like a 45-year-old dude physically, but an 80-year-old man in his head and soul. Because he was grown in this petri dish, and
why don't they just grow in the petri dish and then, once they reach 80, that's it?
Because it's a 20-year tour.
Yeah, you do 20 years. You don't do 20 years, then they take the 20 years back off and say...
Well, they've got the technology.
Yeah, they've got the technology, and you don't want these guys coming back to Earth and going, I thought it was space war, mate.
Well, in that respect, you want them going on forever and ever. So every 20 years, you take him back.
Yeah, you wouldn't let him go, would you?
No.
But then again,
all that years of training experience.
But what about mental degradation, though? Because obviously he's well, actually, that's the thing. He's claiming he's 80 years old mentally. Yeah. Well, is there any dementia? But although he was grown genetically, so maybe his brain.
Remember, he's Space Captain America. He's genetically superior. He's genetically enhanced. The interviewer on the interview I listened to.
Howard Hughes, the
Howard
Unexplained.
Hughes.
He's very good, actually.
Yeah, that's the first time I've ever listened to that, and I was like, oh, he sounds good. He's English and-
he's a proper journalist. He's actually a Scouser, believe it or not. You
Oh.
can't tell from the accent.
I'm going to listen to a lot more of that. But anyway, Mr. Kramer was asked by Howard, and I've completely forgotten.
Well, I was going to say, can we
Sorry.
get that same sort of treatment, or does it have to be the people that are growing the petri dish? Can we go back another body 20 years ago? They cloned us.
I don't know.
Well, if they could suck
Take
your
our
soul
soul
out,
out, yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's why Dick Cheney keeps going.
do they suck your soul out a bit like an abortion? It's like a vacuum and it's
Oh,
attached to
dear.
your anus.
Maybe. Apparently, he doesn't remember it. He doesn't remember the procedure.
He doesn't
Remember
remember
a
a
bottle
lot
of
of
gin
stuff.
in a coat hanger.
Oh!
Rough.
Oh! Because your joke, I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth. Nothing to do with privilege, just a really bad attempt at abortion.
Oh, man.
If you listen very carefully, you can hear every single female listener switching off. But we're so sorry. It's comedy. You're allowed to joke, even about
Hey,
that.
it's an old joke. I'm not the one who made it up. I'm just repeating it.
That doesn't make it right.
No, it doesn't. But still.
Yeah, but it's still funny though, isn't it?
I laugh on the
It's
inside.
comedy at the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's just one of the ways of sort of dealing with that problem. Is
Exactly. It's
Gallows humour.
British black humour. There's one thing we
Steady.
do.
Well, like Desmond.
Oh man, I haven't thought about that in years.
I can't believe you just mentioned Desmond. I haven't heard that for 20 years.
On the Solar Warden episode.
Jesus, man. You gave me flashbacks.
I can barely remember what it was like.
Yeah.
I just know the name. I remember it.
Yeah.
Well,
Channel 4, wasn't it?
it was about a family of black British people.
The
Yeah.
Cosby Show.
A
It
little
was the
bit,
British,
wasn't it?
yeah, the British answer to the Cosby Show.
Yeah.
Only whoever the actor was who played Desmond, I don't think he raped 100 women. And I think there was something to do with a barber shop. Anyway.
I know. Desmond! I know that. as racist as that sounds,
Yeah.
that was one of the catchphrases of the
It
show.
was.
Was it Channel 4, wasn't it?
I think it was like sort of 6 o'clock, 7
Yeah,
o'clock,
yeah,
prime
I
time
remember
slot.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
There you go.
Oh, I don't remember anything about it. I just remember my Jamaican impression then.
I think it was the thing we did at school.
Yeah, may have been.
How
Oh, Desmond.
Did lead to a bit of a racist nickname.
Look, we'll
for
all
that
do
people,
the
didn't
accent
it?
so none of us can get in
Yeah.
trouble and play the song. Desmond! So, how the fuck did we get onto Desmond?
Don't know. No idea.
Woo!
Can I tell you what the purpose of troops on Mars was though?
Fucking knock me out.
There were 3 primary purposes for sending secret military-like troops to Mars. To establish an extraterrestrial defence for Earth, to claim Mars as a US territory,
Oh, fuck.
to get Martians accustomed to having Earthlings present on their planet. And as you mentioned, indigenous Martians are both reptilian and insectoid, but not both together. There's 2 separate species.
Right.
Do they cohabitat sort of?
They're pretty sort of, yeah, they're alright, they get on. They're both, you know.
Yeah.
So if an insectoid strays into a reptilian part of a settlement, it's not going to be...
No, I don't think it's too much of a problem.
Argy-bargy.
They seem alright
It's
together.
not like the Middle East then.
No.
They can get on. And they're different species. Fuck me. This doesn't say much about us, does it?
But it doesn't say anything about that. But
Or maybe we forced them to get on.
basically, we had a few skirmishes against them up there, the Mars Defence Force and our super soldiers. And then we made an alliance with them because this is where he contradicts Saint Ike
And this guy, William Tomkins.
and William Tomkins. Because Ike says that it's the draconian reptilians that rule
the
Earth.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, Kramer maintains that while reptilians are indigenous to Mars, they fought off with us and the insectoids an invasion of draconian reptilians because they were trying to influence the human race, and Mars was the battleground for that particular
Right.
offensive. So he was garroting draconian reptilians and stabbing them and doing all sorts, and having limbs blown off because they can recover from that.
Shank.
He has had limbs blown off and regrown.
Who? Kramer.
Yeah. Said it in the interview.
Captain America can't do that.
No, he can't. But Kramer can. The technology's there. They
He's
can
got
regrow limbs.
Reptilians. can do
Basically,
that.
if you're dragged off the battlefield nearly dead but not quite dead, then they get you to one of their hospitals, they can pretty much heal you.
Oh.
You just probably can't heal death.
One day,
One day, not today.
if I see him, I'll rip his tits off.
Swift kick to the happy sack, so he'll drop like the rest of them.
Yeah, boys from the dwarf. Hashtag Red Dwarf.
Hashtag Red Dwarf.
Boys from the apocalypse.
Hey, we are
We are the boys in the apocalypse, that is true.
broadcasting from the heart of the apocalypse in Telford.
So the treaty we had with the insectoids and reptilians, we would not invade the sacred places of the indigenous people. Seems fair enough.
What, we do that on Earth though?
Yeah, but we agreed we wouldn't with these guys.
Because they're fucking massive insectoid alien war
I
bastards.
would not like to fight an insectoid with 4 arms.
Me neither.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to fight an
He'd have
insect.
6 arms though, wouldn't he? if he was
Oh,
an
yeah,
insect?
6 arms, yeah, whatever. Either way.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be shit.
Calm down, science officer, alright.
To be honest, if there was some weird creepy bug that I've never seen before suddenly crawled out from under the sofa, even a small one, I would be out the window. So a fucking 7 foot tall one, fuck that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no way.
I'm not
Yeah.
down for that.
I ain't bayoneting that bastard.
It's fucking skeletons on the outside, for fuck's sake. You can't punch one.
Well, you could.
Well, yeah, but it's silly.
You did. You're Captain America in space.
Oh, if I'm Captain... Oh,
Yeah, he could just punch through that carapace like
and
nothing.
Oh,
remember,
yeah.
his powers respond to the situation. So however
Yeah.
strong he needs to be to, like you say, punch through his thorax.
to rip out a
whatever that is.
reptilian's throat or
Yeah.
an insectoid's thorax or whatever the hell they have.
The technology works, and Kramer couldn't explain how, bless him, but he
Strength,
will
yeah.
have that strength.
Yeah.
I think the thorax is the arse bit, but
Whatever. I'd rip out an insectoid's thorax.
Oh,
I'd shove it down his throat.
shove it under his arse and rip out its innards.
I'd rip out his thorax, shove it in his throat.
Rip its own brain out through its arsehole.
Yeah.
That's the ultimate
Yeah.
indignity.
It
It
is.
means you've got to shove your arm really far up its arsehole.
You're literally taking time in the matter of a massive hand-to-hand brawl to push your entire Captain America-sized hand.
All the while it's
Oh,
thrashing about.
yeah.
What are you doing?
And you're tugging its hair, calling it a bitch.
Yeah. But it's worth it for the visual of ripping its brain
Yeah.
out through its rear
Yeah.
end and then holding
Blood
it up
splatter.
aloft.
Ah! Then painting your face.
Smearing it over it.
You have a mask on, I imagine.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Yeah, but smear it on your mask.
Yeah.
And your mask's all steamed up because you've been battle crying. But still, what an image. Nobody else is going to fuck with you, are they?
Exactly.
He's fucking
You
mental.
are literally swinging some kind of bone around. Oh, they're insects.
A spinal column.
Yeah, some kind of
I don't know.
spinal column. It must have some kind of spinal column. They're standing upright.
They have in this
They're
story anyway.
exoskeletons, aren't they?
Yeah, they've got you were swinging the spinal bit of the exoskeleton around your head,
It's brain,
taking
isn't
out other.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
And that, my friend, is metal.
yeah. Solar Warden. And I also think I just came a little.
Fashion a spear out of its spine.
Anyway, yeah, this is what Randy Kramer was doing. And but you know what? So we fought off the draconian reptilians, right?
Yeah.
But then,
Allegedly.
but then he gets emotional when he talks at the last battle he participated in before leaving Mars.
Fucking hell.
For some reason, he was never able to understand. He was ordered as part of a 1,000-man force to go into one of the sacred tunnels of the reptoids to capture an artifact. This was in direct violation of the treaty. Of course, naturally, Captain America in Space, Mr. Randy Kramer, expresses his concern to his commanding officer.
Just following
that's a
orders.
mistake.
Just following orders.
Who agreed with him, but said he had orders and headquarters, in quotations,
Bureaucracy.
and the
Just
mission
following
had
orders,
to be
man.
accomplished. Quote, "We all got our orders," the officer told him, "so go do it."
Just like the Nazis in
Yeah.
space.
The men went through the underground tunnels and came to a large dome about the size of the Superdome or Astrodome. I assume our American listeners will understand that better than we do. I assume it's pretty fucking large.
Think WrestleMania.
Ah,
That
gotcha.
kind of size.
100,000.
Yeah, huge.
They lost all communication with headquarters, when suddenly, and this is fucking metal as shit, suddenly doors all around the edge of the arena opened and out charged the reptoids, swinging large bladed weapons. Kramer said it was like, quote, being in a blender. Kramer was one of about 35 men who survived. While he was recovering his wounds, his superior officer met with him, offered him a pilot position, which sounded great to Kramer, and he spent his last 3 years in the SSP as a pilot on the moon. But what about that fucking battle scene in a film?
35 out
Do
of
you think he's just after a film deal?
This guy should be
a
writing comic books.
1,000 Earth soldiers, 1,000 Captain Americas versus a fuck ton of reptiles with swords.
It's like Yonkers in space.
Yeah. World War Z, the Battle of Yonkers,
The Battle of Zombie
podcast. That was like, it's like, yeah, that is, and you got some fucking heavy, you got some Metallica playing over there.
Well, has he sold the movie rights?
I don't know. I think he's trying to be fair. He must be. I would be.
It should at least be a Netflix series.
Fucking too right. I'd watch it.
Or an anime. Or a video game. But, yeah. Look. Again, on one hand, yes, I would love this to be true. But then on the other hand, obviously recent events have proved to me that I don't like it when these things turn out to be sort of true or potentially very true. But because it would be awesome. Because think about it. If there's stuff going on with Mars, they don't want us to know about that.
Nah, they'll freak us all out.
Yeah, and when life's not going to work the same way down here, if we know about the secret space program and the intergalactic wars and the battles on Mars and people aren't going to shop the same at Tesco's.
No.
Things are going to change.
Can you imagine the alt-right on this? Because technically these dudes aren't, well, they're like genetically modified Supermen.
Mars belongs to us. We don't want no goddamn insectoids on Mars. We were on Mars first. We own Mars. We run Mars. Mars is ours.
Nice.
Mars is us. Mars is us.
Yeah, imagine they're Supermen. Where does that put like your Steve Bannon, your average National Front member or Britain First member or alt-right members?
Well,
you're not the top rate anymore.
Aren't people?
Actually, the gravity's a lot less on Mars, so on Earth they wouldn't be as strong.
Well, Randy Kramer claims he is.
Superman.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the thing is though, if this all comes out to be true, then the super elites who thought they were elite, but they're not because they're not in on the secret space, they're all going to want this technology themselves. They're going to say these people should not be allowed to walk among us. It'd be like they've done this in comics loads of times.
Yeah, the Mutant Registration Act and X-Men, the Watchmen Mask Act and all that.
They shouldn't be allowed to freely walk amongst us with these extra powers. Or either we all have it or nobody has it. Or who holds them to account, and it'll all fucking kick off. So maybe that's why Mr. Kramer has these memory blocks implanted in his 40-year-old clone body, even though his soul is 80 and his soul has been on Mars for 20 years, raiding insectoid temples. And
his story is extraordinary, to say the least.
You could say that.
But apparently the stories are told by at least 6 other men who say they served in the secret space program on the moon and at Mars at different times.
But come on, it could easily be 7 if I just start tomorrow.
It could be, exactly.
Do you know what I mean?
Although their stories are all similar, they do not serve together and do not know about each other until they're revealing their experiences. Which, of course, would be what you do is if... Hey, yeah, I know Randy Kramer, he owes me $100. And then you'd have to pay him $100.
He'd have to play along. We could fuck with it this way.
Let's do it.
Like, do you remember on that raid? We say, remember the raid on the temple? Remember on the far side?
When we were there, when me and you fought back to back.
Yeah.
I saved your life.
We did a bet, didn't we?
Yeah. When you lost your arm and I bayoneted that reptilian for you.
Yeah.
You told me you'd pay me $1,000.
And here we are.
Here we are. I broke that memory block down, Randy. You owe me $1,000.
Hey.
Yeah, but he'd just say you're lying.
Yeah, but prove I'm not.
If it was in front of a convention of
this could be a memory block from him.
Who have just paid him money.
Well, he could be,
I still think stick to the original plan of smash him in the fucking head. Because apparently his powers won't allow this. So yeah. Oh well, no, I don't know if a sneak attack on him, if that counts, because would his powers kick in? Maybe.
He'd have like Spidey sense, wouldn't he?
Okay, so I was thinking, it's a different story. I don't even know what he looks like or anything, but it's a different story if I've got to like get his attention and then say, right, Randy, put your bloody fists up, it's on.
Yeah, what if
He
has
could just
got
kick
Andy
my ass
101?
as human to human. He could just literally, as a 40-something male.
I think you should react to even be faster and stronger.
Even on a sneak attack.
If I'm watching you get your ass kicked by him,
Yeah.
his limbs should literally be a blur, shouldn't they?
No, because they're appropriate to sit. They don't need to beat me up. They can just move like human speed.
So Mike, you jump out from the back.
If 3 of us go at him, he'll suddenly start moving as fast as it's appropriate to beat us 3.
Yeah.
But if we were 3 trained professional killers, he'd be moving even quicker.
Or
and stronger.
insectoid reptilians.
Even faster and even stronger.
Or
It's amazing how this tech works. There must be some like never-ending fuel source somehow.
Well, stick him in
his
the
cell.
UFC. Stick him in a Royal Rumble style situation in a UFC fight. Right, so basically, every 3 minutes, another dude comes in that ring, and if he ain't put him until there's a let's say he starts with 3 guys, and then a minute in, another 3 guys come in, another minute in, another 3 guys come in, and if he's still standing at the end of that, right? I'll fucking agree with him.
He claims that is all part of his ability.
Yeah.
I say drop him in the middle of the Serengeti, the lion pride. Get the fuck out of that, you cunt.
Well, theoretically, he should be able
yeah.
to fucking kick the shit out of a pride of lions.
Yeah.
I don't think he will.
No, but I was thinking about, like, you know, selling the pay-per-view rights, Mike, where you're just saying about having him gored to death and eaten.
No, we want it to be true, didn't we? We want to see Randy stood. I mean, I don't want all them animals to die, but it'd be nice if we check back in on him and he's literally dressed head to toe in lion feathers, like with a necklace of lion pucks.
Yeah, but what if he's then got all the lions?
All the baboons are praying to him.
What if he's then got all the lions in the world centered around him? So I just dropped my book. Centered around him in a giant lion praying circle.
And he's sitting
like,
"Oh, Senor!"
And no, before we know it, lions are killing us all. That could work badly.
Yeah.
UFC, we'll go with the UFC option. We'll make a mint of the pay-per-view, and if he survives that, then we'll put him with the lions.
Because what if Randy starts impregnating female lions and then creates the fucking Thundercat people, basically humanoid cats.
Lion-O!
Like, we got the latest satellite photos in, boss. That is fucking a lion.
Whoa, he is one brave space soldier. I'm Randy Kramer!
I think he just said, I'm Randy! As he comes.
I fucked an insectoid on Mars, this is nothing!
You think you'd take me?
He just conquers the entire continent
So,
of Africa.
alright, what if everyone in the year, we coordinate a massive effort with everyone on the planet, young, old, middle-aged, to jump him at the same time?
Well, good luck trying to get the world to do anything together, but like, if it's to prove whether aliens are real, whether this Captain America Martian man, Captain Mars, that should be his name, isn't it? He's the soldier of Mars, Captain Mars. Captain Kramer, Captain fucking schizoid. No, I don't. I mean, I'd love to believe. Well, would I love to believe him? I don't know. Would you sign up? We've touched on this before, but if it's like somehow they find out because of the podcast, because of our exceptional journalism, you get the call one day, you've hit the nail on the head, a bit too close, lads. Welcome into the the 1% of the 1%.
Here's some injections. You're now a super soldier.
I can take your soul out, and within 15 minutes you can wake up on Mars, Ben. In a different body.
10 years younger.
Well, completely different body. Could be just your average Captain America looking super soldier. Would you down for it?
Yeah, I'm in.
Even if they say we might not be able to bring you back, would you go out and live out your days on Mars?
Yeah. Why not? Fuck it.
There might not be green-skinned women. That's not part of the deal.
Oh.
Just insectoids.
Just insectoids.
But there's still chicks up there, yeah? There's
with their
25...
mandible blowjobs might be quite good because massaging, like, use their mandibles to cradle my balls while she sucks me up. Oh god!
No, it's not so bad, is it?
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is why you listen to us and not the fucking, I don't know, BBC or anybody who tries to actually factually get to the bottom of anything. Fucking the realities and practicalities of receiving fellatio from an insectoid woman would involve mandibles cradling the testicles. That is the conclusion we've come to. And
Randy Kramer was right. Free Randy Kramer.
He's not in jail.
He should be for impersonating an officer.
And for insectoid rape.
War crimes on Mars.
Oh man, yeah, he raided a temple for God's sake.
Exactly.
He broke the treaty.
Yeah,
The holy place.
But how metal would that fucking battle scene be? Shit,
It's
tons
in
of
metal for the
reptilians,
insectoids.
a
They
thousand-
killed 870.
Well,
or
there's
65.
35 survive, but imagine the 35 dudes that are
965.
splattered in blood with machetes, just like you'd have Stallone.
He said it was
Right.
like a blender.
Yeah, you'd have Stallone, Arnie, Van Damme, Statham. Ooh, go on, let's say.
We're not going to go full 35.
Dolph Lundgren would be there, but they'd be the main core. In the film, you do numbers. You do like
All four of the A-team, obviously.
Yeah,
leading the
obviously,
charge.
yeah. Hulk Hogan.
Oh fuck yeah! Of course he's in there, just throwing insectoids with one arm over his head.
Mr. T.
Fuck off.
Bob Backlund.
Bob Backlund. The Legion of Doom.
Putting an insectoid in the cross-faced chicken wing. I don't know which arm to do. He's got so many.
The Legion of Doom would be there.
Oh yes. I'd pay to see that. There's spikes and just got insectoid heads hanging up there.
Yeah, man. So are we going for? Let's sum Mr. Kramer's part of the story up. Because we pretty much come to the end of it, sadly. The last 2 years of his tour, he spent as a pilot on Lunar Base Command, and then he was returned to his body. So,
Well,
Gaz, you going for that?
Oh, I'd like to. And I listened to Mr. Kramer just before we recorded. He sounds like quite a, as far as you can tell just from listening to somebody's voice, a fairly rational, normal.
He does sound quite sort of
He
well spoken.
throws in a lot of big words. It's called sort of purple prose, flowery language where you don't need to say. He overcomplicates. People do that. It's a technique to like sort of feign intelligence. I fucking use it quite a lot.
Yeah, so do I.
A big vocabulary, but not much understanding to back it up. I'd love to believe it. It's a very inventive, and the guy even mentioned Howard Hughes on what's it called? His
The Unexplained.
The Unexplained. He even said, "Credit to you, Mr. Kramer. Your story has been extremely consistent every time you tell it, and one of the sort of giveaways or gives that someone's lying is inconsistencies in a story.
Yeah.
Slightly different every time.
But if you sit there every night and
I
rehearse
suppose
it
if
for
you
5
learn your
years,
lines, that's
and you
very
sit
true.
there looking at yourself in a mirror and rehearsing
Very
the story,
true.
and maybe someone's in it with you and they ask you questions about maybe possible flaws in it that they can see, and then you learn because this story has become more complex over time. I heard him for the first time 5 or 6 years ago, and it was nowhere near as complex as this. In fact, certain details have changed.
Well, the memory blocks are...
Exactly.
Well, that's his excuse, isn't it?
So my gut instinct is obviously, sorry to say, horse shit, because it's just a story from him, isn't it? There's no evidence.
Reggae
But-
box?
Not in the reggae box, because I would love. I'd love this to be.
I want it to be true. I do.
And when you throw into it the first part of the episode, Mr. McKinnon, and again, we know he definitely sort of did things he shouldn't have done because of how the US went after it.
Absolutely.
What he saw, though, we are relying entirely on what he says.
Yeah. Which is a potentially autistic stoner.
Yes. Again, it could be attention seeking.
That's not a slur anyway.
No.
That's just pointing out a fact.
But again, I get a good feeling from him, and I'd like to believe him. And then you throw that into it, and you're like, obviously, there's going to be shit that's secret that we're not going to know about. Of course, there is. It's just the nature of running a government.
And the guy from Lockheed Martin,
yeah.
I mean, he created the stealth bomber. He decided to paint shit black because that when he would decrease friction, it'd look fucking cool.
We all know.
I mean, he's there going, yeah, we can do that.
We all know
And
that
you're
the
like,
military's...
This dude would know. He would know. Unless he was just fucking with everybody because he had cancer.
We all know that the military's tech and sort of stuff that's in research and development is... There's a number they put in it, like 50 years or something ahead of what the public has access to. We know that. So, there might not be a secret space program that's as complicated as what Mr. Kramer explains, but there's definitely aircraft that we don't fucking know about, in my opinion. Maybe there's even more things we don't know about that are just too much for us to even... That's why they keep it a secret.
Yeah, well imagine how much you would freak out if there was a...
Or again, it could all be, like that quote I read earlier from the senator or the engineer, whoever it was, who said that, you know, the third reason out of the 3 reasons for having a black budget project is to get out your shovel and just rip open the money bag, basically. It could all be... None of this could be even remotely true. It could all be utter horseshit, and that money disappears literally for nefarious reasons. Illegal wars around the world that we might not know about, private armies,
drugs,
just drugs, gluttonous good time, business investments, just to create more money. It could be nothing to do with other galaxies, other dimensions. But fucking pretty awesome and metal if it was.
But let's face it, it's a lot more appealing to us if we think it is other dimensions of Space Wars than it is if it's just greed, gluttony, slavery, whatever, as we just mentioned. So come on, Mike, are you going to jump on the fence or are you going to...
I think it's Codswallop and Poppycock.
Oh, you're off the fence!
I do for Kramer. I think he's quite fanciful, isn't he?
Yeah.
It's a good story.
Oh,
great story.
Fantastic.
And if he's looking for film rights, I will...
What do you think
I'll
of...
watch it. I'll watch it.
Gary McKinnon's a different story.
Here we go then.
Because it's the whole of the way the US reacted as well with the whole extradition. I mean, okay, he got caught hacking NASA.
Yeah, the greatest military hack ever.
Yeah, they're going to want to extradite him. But to pursue him for 11.5 years...
He must have touched on something.
Yeah,
but unless he genuinely did fuck with their munition supplies.
As they claim.
It's quite possible.
That's a genuine possibility. I mean, he left anti-American messages.
That's proof he did do that.
Yeah, well, so what? That's
but if he's then got the capability to fuck up their munition supplies, they can argue that, well, hang on, he put our national security at risk because our ships didn't have enough shells.
I think I do have a
or
quote.
missiles.
Maybe.
So that's another thing, isn't it? Oh, that could be a lie. Or that could be just the excuse for chasing him down. Or he did genuinely do that. Yeah. But because he claims he saw other stuff which he shouldn't have seen, which they do genuinely have, means they have to... I read about this. I saw this. They have to subpoena military officers to go into an open court and swear under oath, which is illegal, that they have never seen any of the stuff that he's claiming he's seen, and that he could technically subpoena Solar Warden officers if it was proven to exist, because his trial would be him proving the existence of it.
Okay. Sorry, a senior military officer at the Pentagon told the Sunday Telegraph, with regards to Mr. McKinnon, quote, US policy is to fight these attacks as strongly as possible. As a result of Mr. McKinnon's actions, we suffered serious damage. This was not some harmless incident. He did very serious and deliberate damage to military and NASA computers and left silly and anti-American messages. All the evidence was that someone was staging a very serious attack on US computer systems.
Yeah,
but
and
why is the
whole thing they didn't say what it was.
But why is a guy from his girlfriend's and his computer in Wales able to hack into, and it was called the greatest US military hack of all time?
Yeah. And what's he done? What's his? Is he accused of deleting a few files?
No, we'll call a piss break.
Oh, God, I was going to try and do it on the slide like a ninja.
Alright, sorry, go on, Mike. Actually, no, Mike.
Sorry, man.
No, carry on.
Sorry, listener. This will sound funny anyway.
So we're back, and
sorry about that, listener.
Sorry about that. It was urgent.
It was an emergency.
It really was. So, Mike, bullshit or not?
Bullshit on Kramer. On the fence for McKinnon.
On the fence for McKinnon. At least you're off the fence once. Yeah. That's actually becoming
twice
a bit
now.
Twice?
You tend to
when
it
once
comes
in this
to
episode.
alien ones.
Yeah. It's all good.
So Ben, what do you think?
Love Kramer to be true. Love it. I would genuinely love it. I'd love it. I'd love it if Kramer was true.
Love it if he was true.
But like I say, I heard his story. It was a lot simpler, and now it's a lot more complex and more elaborate sounding. And
it involves injecting your fucking soul into clones on Mars.
But I do think there could be a Solar Warden. Right, there could be a secret space fleet.
Yeah.
Because that ties in the alien stuff. Maybe we have got stuff, and there's such a lot. Whether it's Roswell or the Eisenhower Treaty thing.
There's a lot to commit to once you say that we've got it.
Yeah.
So how did we get it? Via alien technology, therefore there must be aliens, therefore we're interacting with them. There's a lot of...
So we would have something up there, because even though we may not all get on the surface, we all know at some level of government that the planet is bigger than the rest of us. Because we're the only planet with life in our nearby vicinity that we know of. Well, certainly in our solar system. So that makes us pretty rare.
So they tell us.
Well, they don't. We don't.
Well, no other planets. Well, as far as we know, no other planet's got trees and water and flowing water and rivers and green fields and all that.
But we've only ever seen like about 20, haven't we?
No, I mean of our solar system.
In our solar system.
Yeah, we're the only ones.
Oh, yeah.
So we're pretty rare in this kind of neck of the woods. Because remember, let's face it, our solar system is still pretty big.
Yeah.
I mean, Voyager's been going how long? 30 years now, and it's just got to the edge.
Oh, is it at the edge?
It's not far. It's certainly somewhere near Pluto.
Are we still in contact
It's gone
with
way
it?
past that.
Oh, it's gone way past. So it's gone past the edge.
It's actually outside our solar system now.
Oh, fuck.
It's in something called
So it's
some sort of bubble like the ionosphere, but it isn't. Something like that.
So
it's like a bubble which sort of... You've got our universe, our solar system, and then you've got the bubble which is like the limit of the sun's influence.
Okay.
And it's just passing outside that now.
And we're still receiving stuff.
We're still receiving stuff, yeah.
So it's out. Somebody else's. Mammal.
Yeah,
Oh,
pretty
mammal.
much. That's going to swing past someone's planet and go, what was that? Oh, was it an alien probe? There's some aliens sat there going, oh, it's an alien probe. That was, no, it wasn't. It was just a rock.
Yeah, and there'll be some fucking like 3 insectoid people sat around microphones getting high on space weed, talking about like it was a fucking weird shape, man. Like
Not the space fungi.
yeah, it's giving off weird signals. Oh man.
Yeah.
And isn't there a gold disc on it with like hippie music on it and shit? Like?
It's Johnny Be Good.
Oh, that's fucking ace. Oh, imagine that the first time some insectoids. We kick off the teenage revolution in an insectoid. Come on, man.
It's classical.
There's classical music on there, but there is also Johnny Be Good is where Chuck Berry is on there. Yeah. And there's the photos of us, the hand up in supposed greeting, even though that might be a gesture of war in the radio. Why couldn't they just put hands
Fuck
on
you
the sides?
and your family. That's what it means.
Well, it's like the Rick and Morty is on, pushes middle fingers up and he goes, I told them this is peace amongst worlds. And then go fuck yourself is I'm sorry or something like that.
But we're being very presumptuous that they're going to work out how to play the fucking disc. If we found like the Martian equivalent or not even Martian from other solar system.
It's made of gold, man. It's a golden record.
But if we found the other galaxy's equivalent of a CD lands on Earth, what the fuck are we going to play it on?
Maybe gold's their fuel. It's like so abundant they're just like, more fuel.
Chuck it in a fire.
Bloody gold again.
All you can hear is the fading cries of Chuck Berry as the record melts.
Way down in Louisiana. Chuck Berry, amazing guitarist.
Oh yeah.
Used to like to put secret cameras in the toilets of his restaurants and film women having shits and farts.
Well,
true story. Not even allegedly. Fucking Google it.
Wow.
You can't have it all, can you? Most brilliant men are somehow flawed, aren't they?
Yeah. Probably won't go that far.
Maybe, yeah. Fuck me. Let's wrap this.
Genius.
Let's wrap this monster session up.
All right. So I'll go for Solar Warden.
Yeah.
Are we all in agreement with that? We'll go for Solar Warden.
Bits of this I'm more inclined to believe than
McKinnon
others.
stuff.
McKinnon.
Solar Warden. Is there a space fleet? Mike.
Possible. Yeah.
Gaz.
Yeah. Solar.
I'm yes. I'm going yes.
Kramer.
I want there to be a space fleet. Kramer, I'm saying bullshit.
Kramer,
I call
no.
bullshit.
McKinnon, I'm down for that. And yeah, I'd like to think that there's like I said, NASA public space program. Clearly, there's going to be some secret, more advanced shit going on. Whether it's as far as aliens and insectoids, who knows? But there's shit that we don't know about for sure.
For sure.
I'm sorry.
For sure.
I hit the mic. Not Mike the presenter. The microphone. Yeah, that was. I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
So did we have a
Daily Star?
Oh yeah, Daily Sport.
We'll
Daily
leave you
Sport.
after the heaviness of alien space wars, and remember,
And
out there are
9
pieces of X-wing going on forever for eternity.
925 brave Captain Americans in space.
Yeah.
Dying. Sorry, 900 and
Maths.
65 members of 965 Captain Americans dying in space in a massive hand-to-hand sword-to-gun battle.
That was described like
A
being
meat
in
blender, but would be a fucking metal fight scene in the film.
So after all that, we'll leave you with some happiness. Again, to our international listeners, there's a publication in the Great Britain known as the Daily Sport, and it has a sister paper called the Sunday Sport.
Yep.
And it's akin to the American what's it called, Weekly World News. It's a British institution. It basically combines naked, topless women.
With...
And this isn't sold in pornographic stores.
Oh man, I just saw a headline. Oh.
You can get this in any local shop you want.
Yeah.
Any age.
Usually the worst shop you can find.
Yeah. Walk in.
The grottiest corner shop you can find will always have a copy of the Sport.
It looks like a normal newspaper, but it's not. And we're going to leave you with some choice headlines. I'm not going to look at the screen. Do you want to surprise me?
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to turn away as well.
If you...
Okay, the first one we got, man marries scarecrow.
We have a full and active sex life, says Steve, 44. Ah, look at him.
He's got his shirt off in the photo, and the scarecrow is literally a shirt on 2 sticks.
Hang on. Is he legally married a scarecrow?
Nah, he can't have. He can't have. Let's not try.
I hope he changes the shirt. He said the sex life was full and active.
Is there any comments on there? Because we're on Facebook. Is there anything humorous?
Wurzel bumming. That man wins the internet.
Yeah. So, let's do the first comment of each one. And then right, okay.
Next one. John Lewis made me shit myself.
John Lewis, the department store.
Steve's to sue after ad-inspired mishap.
He looks slightly alien-headed, doesn't he? Oh, for some reason, it's a weird photo. For some reason, he's shit himself, so he wants compensation.
Someone said close your eyes next time. Bong.
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 Fraudster flogs Miley wrecking ball for 20,000.
Oh,
that isn't very interesting.
No, although there's a black spot over
Bong.
Marcel's tits.
£5 coin up bum record bid was a right shitter.
What's up with his face?
He's got pound coins up his bum. That's what's wrong with his face. It says Graham was just £1 short of being the UK champ.
The last coin up top.
He failed.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Why hasn't he been sterilised? I bet he's got kids. I bet they're all aspiring to beat him. That's just aspiration in life, is just shove pound coins at their
And
arse.
he couldn't even fucking win the UK championship.
Exactly, you
You're
loser.
the second best. He's fucking hell.
You're a loser, Graham.
Oh dear.
Fuck, mate. Okay.
Dwarf Piers Morgan found dead in church organ after flashing his privates in mid Glamorgan.
That's a limerick, isn't it? That's just a limerick. That can't be right. And that is blatantly just Piers Morgan's head stuck on a dwarf.
How the fuck was there a dwarf?
Actually, I don't think that's a dwarf's body. I just think that's
Hang on.
Piers Morgan's head has been. Piers Morgan's body has been shrunk.
Wait, a dwarf.
His arms are still normal size.
But a dwarf. What? A clone version of Piers Morgan who's a dwarf, or a dwarf who happens to look a bit like
I
Piers
guess
Morgan?
it's a dwarf that looks like him.
How do you look like Piers Morgan? He's nondescript.
I don't know, but in that photo there, they basically got Piers Morgan's body in Photoshop, shrunk it down, but not bothered to do his arms, which are freakishly long.
They're on a budget, Ben. They've only
Moving
got one computer in the
on.
office.
Yeah. it isn't the creme de la creme.
What's the
But
top comment?
Even more tragic than the midget Gordon Ramsay being found in a badger cell.
Oh dear God. What's happening to these celebrity look like dwarves? They've been murdered somehow.
Oh man,
It's
there's a conspiracy.
If you're a dwarf, listen to this, and you happen to resemble a celebrity of any level, hide.
And also, I'd like to point out that. Oh man, we're with you.
I thought you forgot what you were going to
No,
point
I
out
did.
then. Okay, I think it's time. Let's do a few more and then let's wrap it up.
Bong.
Bong.
Banned from every pub in Burnley for shitting in crisp packets.
Well, does not surprise me in Burnley.
Shitting in crisp packets. What's wrong with it? Oh, it says the pair were caught short in the loo queue. I was going to say, what was wrong with the
They were
toilet?
queuing for the loo and
They were in the queue, imagine that. In the queue to the loo. How do they talk in Burnley? Where is it?
It's in Lancashire.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I can't bloody wait. I can't be waiting for the bloody loo. Hey Mary, have you got anything in your bag? I've got an empty Quavers packet. Oh, hook it. Hold me coat round me. It won't hide the stink.
You want to be next to it.
You'd have to have a good fucking aim as well when you get it all in the... Oh, and imagine the packet afterwards. What did she do? And I bet she was pissed off when they kicked her out.
Well, I'm going to say that Burnley's full of inbreeds, so it doesn't surprise me.
I've done a lot of fucking things in my life. A lot of things I'm not proud of. I've never shat in a crisp packet. In Burnley.
In a public queue.
In a loo. Fucking queue loo.
My company, the one I work for, was banned from having a Christmas party at a really massive big venue because someone would shit under the table. And I was like, and we're always kind of like, well, there's not enough space on them tables. It's quite impressive, really, when you think about it. But they kicked us out because someone had shit under a table.
How
So I can believe that this happens.
Oh, I don't doubt this story for one fucking second.
You think one held the packet for the
Oh, gee.
No, that's friendship.
Guys, I love you guys, but there's no way on earth I'd hold an empty crisp packet up your anus while you killed one out.
What if she was having a pebble dash?
Exactly! How does she know what it's going to be before she squats?
Liquid shit. Just coming out like a fucking smoothie
Oh,
machine.
I need to eat them crisps, I need another packet.
Yes, the fucking mate.
Just tipping crisps on the floor.
She's munching down crisps as quick as she can to fill it. Oh, no. Okay.
Bong. OAP sells scrumpy cider to passers-by, but really it's his piss.
The guy in that photo does look genuinely creepy. And yeah. But wouldn't they notice that it's his piss after they took a swig of it and then go back and kick the shit out of him? Like, this apple scrumpy tastes like piss.
Would you like one of the comments?
Go on.
He makes chocolate chip cookies too, but they're shit. Alright. Okay, shall we...
Bong it on, one more.
Oh, come on, one more then.
Bong, the spy bubbling. Tranny Colin used sex trick to seduce 007 actor Moore.
Oh, not Roger Moore.
Oh no,
Oh,
Roger
he
Moore.
is called Roger Moore.
Moore got tranny tricked. According to the Daily Sport. Not me. It doesn't even look half convincing.
No.
He hasn't had a shave.
It's He's just a man in a bikini with a wig.
Roger Moore is quite old.
I know, but he'd have more fat was supposed to be that point.
I don't know, man. I don't know what it's like to be 103. But,
Even so, I call bullshit on that one.
the spy who bummed me. Oh, Lord. Well, I think that was a lovely, happy ending to a mammoth podcast. It's, seen
absolutely.
Us go over all sorts. But, again, let us know, listener, what you think on the Facebook page. Cutting Through the Bull in the Post Through the Apocalypse. Twitter is Cutting Through the Bull.
At Apocalypse Bull.
At Apocalypse Bull.
I am at Baron Von Carter. Mike, you are
At Cacvan.
at Cacvan with a K.
And I'm on Facebook, you'll find me. Yes, we do our signs off. Jesus.
I'll say stay classy and believe.
Yeah, I like it. I'll say free Biff Tannen and see you later.
I'll say peace out, hurry the fuck up, really. We need you.
And good night.
Night.